Welcome everyone to Tuesday, August 10th, 2021 zoning board meeting. My name is Marty Akins. I'm the chairman. We had board members, Mr. Cabeas, Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Chin, and Mr. Himmel is with us tonight. Mr. Raydell will be getting in a minute. He's stuck in traffic. If anyone's going to speak tonight, you're not an attorney, you're going to have to take an oath, and we will give you an oath. Mr. Cabeas will give you an oath. Mr. Cabeas, can I have a motion to waive the reading of July 13th, please, the minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes of the July 13th meeting.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
So moved.
Recording in progress.
We have two things here tonight. I have a letter here for One Crown Colony, and that's the billboard. They have a motion here, just so you guys know. I went up and saw Mr. Timmons yesterday. He said they're probably going to withdraw. And like we all said, it does say, what does this say? Just what got it? You got it? I know, but I got this big thing in my screen.
Yeah, just got it.
Got it? All right. And he said, it says in zoning that we don't have billboards, but they're probably going to make a motion to deny. So, but we have a letter here. They want to withdraw without prejudice. So if they do come back, they'd have to change the whole project. So, Mr. Cabeas, could I have a motion to withdraw without prejudice, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Amendment number 21-18, John Flatley Company for a variance to construct a center mount pole billboard sign on the premises numbered 1 Crown Drive, Quincy. I make a motion to withdraw without prejudice.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Under the first one, case 2117, 15 Jewett Street. I know there's a lot of people on here tonight. This is being moved. There will be no notices. November 16th, 21. They want to move that until November 16th. Mr. Cabeas, could I please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, amendment number 21-17, Bone Chavez for a variance finding to construct a 2-family home on a lot using a flow-through foundation and driveway pavers on the premises number 15 Jewett Street. Make a motion to continue the hearing to November 16th.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Someone has a mic on or something. I'm hearing phone calls and stuff in here on our end. You could make sure your mic is on mute, please. Somehow we missed you and left you on unmute. Further under tonight's business, case number ZBA 2135, Hardy and Mann Design Group for finding variance to construct a 1.5-story expansion to the left side of single-family dwelling, numbered 108 Pontiac Road. The applicant and their representative here. Yep. Can you unmute him, Jay, please?
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, you got it. Yep. You all set? I know we have a new set of plans here. Community, would you like to take the floor, please, and explain the new set of plans we're looking at? Guys, you all got a new set of plans for that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone? Everyone?
Yeah.
All right, you have the floor, sir. Hello?
Chief, can you hear us?
Chi? One second. Go to Chi again. Right here. Get on right out of it. He's unmuted. No, he's unmuted. Can I hear you? Unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself? We unmuted you here. You hear? No, you're muted here. Hit it again. Hit it again and see what happens. Are you there? Yeah, you're there.
This is Chi, and we have a little bit of difficulty on the audio.
No, you're
So,
all.
Bear
It's
with
all.
me for 1 second.
We got it. We got it. Can you hear me? We got it. You're on. I guess he can't hear me. His volume.
Can
You
see.
were just there. We heard you. What happened? We unmuted you. I don't know what you did, but now you're back. Back to sign language. Good.
Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to take over while Mr. Chi sorts out his audio problem, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead. If you can go over the set of plans, name and address of the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Travis Jacobs. I live at 108 Pontiac Road. I'm also an attorney. I don't know if you want me to swear in or not.
No, you're all set, man.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the last time we spoke with the board, we understood that there were really two key issues. The first issue was that the new structure would have two front doorways. There'd be a front doorway on the front porch, which you should be able to see in the old plans, and then a center doorway that entered into the mudroom on the new structure.
Mm-hmm.
We had our architect, Mr. David Tonis, do a second set of plans. He has removed that front door. I think we had mentioned to the board before, we don't use that front door.
Yeah.
So, to accommodate the board's request, we removed that front door. So the only front entrance will now be that middle doorway.
The mudroom,
which-
go in, right?
Correct, Mr. Chairman, the doorway to the mudroom. And so the second issue was an objection from our abutting neighbor on the right side of the property, number 102. We understood that there was a property boundary location issue and that the building was too close. A couple of things I just want to point out there. Number one, my understanding is that the setback requirement is 13 feet.
Correct.
Our structure will be 15.1 feet
Right.
from the property line. I guess there was some confusion over where the property line ran.
Yeah.
Our neighbor has staked out the property line, and
Yep.
we have no objection with those. That's exactly where we believe it is.
Good.
We also, and the board should have a list of 17 residents. We've obtained 17 signatures
Yeah.
from local residents.
Mhm.
I'd like to point out a couple of things. Number one, the vast majority, I think all but two or three, are within a 300-foot radius of our property.
Yeah.
And according to the zoning board rules, those are the people whose say really matters.
Matter. Correct.
And additionally, so as you know, the setback on the right side is 15 feet, and we're only required to have 13. The
Correct.
rear setback is currently 2.5, and that will actually be increased to 7.4. But our rear abutting neighbor has
Yeah.
signed our letter of support,
Yeah.
which the board should have.
Yeah.
And we've also obtained a letter of support from the opposite side across from Squanto. We obtained a letter of support from that resident,
Yep.
the resident to the right of them, the
Mhm.
resident to the left of them, and then the resident that is 2 doors down from them.
You did your homework.
Yes, we did.
Please leave your
So,
message for 9.
and
You did. You did exactly what we were looking for.
thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
Let me just ask any of the board members if there's any questions with the new set of plans. I mean, I really think they come out very nice. I like the way it looks. I think it's going to be great. Your playroom, your master suite. It's going to be a beautiful home. Is there any board members have any questions right now? Let's start, Ms. Cabeas. Vice Chairman?
No, I like, we asked for them to get rid of that, doorway, and that's what they did. So I have no questions.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yeah, the question I have is, I recall that there was a petition objecting from the neighbors. Have they been informed of the changes that have been going on here? And can we hear from them?
Oh, no, we're gonna hear from, I'm just asking if there's any questions from you first.
You didn't, okay, there's no reduction in the size. All you did was take the door out, correct?
Correct. We removed the door. That was the key issue.
Okay, my key issue was the size, but go ahead. I'm all set. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chin?
No questions at this time.
This time, Mr. Himmel?
I like the single front door. It looks a lot better. That's my final.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that'd like to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in favor? Please raise your hand. If it was a star, was it star 9, right?
Star 9.
Star 9. Wave your hand. If you can't do that, we'll figure it out. See where you are. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? Anyone, Jay? Star 9 up there.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that we have a couple of people that have shown up tonight, and one of them is also having trouble hearing anything. I told her that she should just raise her hand and see if she can get recognized. Amy DiGiampalo.
Amy DiGiampalo.
Oh, there she is.
She was waving.
There you go.
There she is.
Okay, got you on mute, Amy.
There you
Amy,
go.
can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
All right, you're on.
I am not in a butter, but I am here to support Mr. and Mrs. Jacobs.
All right,
And-
one second. Mr. Bass, could you please swear in, please?
She's a lawyer, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. Like I
Amy-
said, I'm not in a butter, but I'm here to support Mr. and Mrs. Jacobs. And I have seen their plans, and I think it's a beautiful project that they're doing here. And I just don't see why there should be any opposition to it.
Thank you. Thank you for your support for the neighbors. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? We have someone on the phone?
Jay.
J.G. Liberty can't hear either. What's going on now? Well, it has to be because everyone else can hear except for the people that, I don't know why you can't hear. But
Mr. Chairman, there is somebody in the waiting room, I know, waiting to get in.
yeah, waiting to get in.
Yeah.
One's in. Anyone that, unless he just came in, we might have missed him.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
Three dots down below.
You know. Yeah.
Hold, please.
Hold on. Middle. There we go.
Yeah.
I know. And it just should like,
The board members are still unmuted, so that.
but it unmuted it. No way.
Oh, it didn't.
All right. And who's trying to speak? What was her name? Amy?
Oh, I believe it's Alex Joseph.
Alex Joseph? And could you mute Amy, please? Okay. Liberty, there you go. No, you just had him, right? Liberty. Isn't that it? Said Alex Joseph. Oh, I thought they said they couldn't hear.
Alex, right there.
Yeah, there you go. Gee, are you on there now? G? Can you unmute him? I know he's in, but maybe he's not unmuted.
Jim Chat. He must be trying to remove himself.
He's trying to reboot himself. He shifts there.
There he is.
Are you all set now? G? No, you're not. You can yell as loud as you want. It's not going to change it.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. I don't know what the audio issue that they're having is.
I don't know what's there either, but he's got a technical difficulty. He seems like other people are hearing us, but we're missing him. Is there anyone else like to speak in favor? We got to move. We got a long night here, people. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? Second call. Raise your hand, *9. I'll get back to him before the end. Somehow we'll get back. I don't know what's going on with him, but
Alex has his hand up now.
the audience can hear. It must be on your end. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor? Last call. Can you look at the whole
Alex
screen?
is raising her hand.
Alex, go up in the top left. Here you go. Alex,
There we go.
hear me?
Good evening. How are you?
Good. Mr. Cabeas, could you please give me a note?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Alex, you're up. Did we lose you, Alex?
Nope, I'm still here.
All right. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'd just like to speak in behalf of
Name and address for the record.
47 Edgemere Road, and my name is Alex Joseph.
All right, Alex, you're up.
I'd just like to speak in behalf of Mr. Jacobs. I am in favor of his plans. I'm in favor of his plans. I think they're excellent, and I think it'd be a great value add to the community.
Very good. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Last call. Speak in favor. Call that part of the hearing closed. Any correspondence from correspondence?
No new.
No new correspondence.
No.
Is there anyone opposed or undecided that would like to speak? Is there anyone opposed or undecided that would like to speak? Raise your hand, *9. Anyone?
I have
Second.
J.D. Barry.
That's yes. Can the chair and the board hear me?
Yes, J.D. Barry.
Good afternoon. I should say good evening, Mr. Chair, Madam, or Mr. Chair, and members of the board. I'm calling on behalf of the director.
JD, you swear to tell the
Sorry, I
truth,
apologize.
whole truth.
I'm an attorney, so I don't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You have a license to lie.
I've been hired to represent the direct abutters that are opposed to this project. That is the McDolly family that lives next door. They're part of the group that signed a petition last time in opposition. Their concern wasn't just with the door changing, but it was actually with just the sheer size and the massing of the addition. And also with that issue is more the digging and what work is going to need to be done to the land and how that may affect their property if that is to be done. My notes say that the board did recommend scaling down the addition, that it was adding, basically almost doubling the square footage of the house. At least from what's been represented to me, there's been very little work that's actually been done to actually meet with the abutters that are opposed to this project. I was provided plans today to review, but today was when I believe the plans were actually turned over. And just, again, I think the board is aware of all this, just the level of work, the excavation, the digging that is needed in order to go forward with this addition.
I've had these at my house for a week.
Okay.
So they were at my house a week. I don't know when you got yours, but, and they've been available here for probably a week and a half.
Yeah, if not over, the date should be on the front cover. July 6th.
July 6th.
And if you
they
can tell
were
me
here.
the family's name that he represents.
And what's the
Address.
family name you represent?
McDolly.
Okay.
MIGALDI.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak opposed or undecided? Second call. Third call. Kimberly. Kimberly, you gotta take an oath when we unmute you. Can you find her here?
Top left.
Who is it? Top left, Kimberly, right there. Okay.
Kimberly, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, this is Dennis.
Okay, Dennis, thank you.
How you doing?
Address for the record, please.
Sorry, what's that?
Name and address for the record.
Dennis McGaldy, 102 Pontiac Road.
Okay, go ahead, Dennis, you have the floor.
So whatever happened to Dave McCarthy getting in touch with us to try to work this out? He didn't do his job. He said he was going to try to work it out, but it looks like he didn't want to talk to me.
I have no idea.
What about downsizing? I don't understand how that was the first time it was all about downsizing. Now it's not.
And that's not really true. What my thing was, the line, the lot line, I want to make sure the lot line was right, because the abutter says that the lot line's wrong and it's in my property. That lot line that he has in his property. What we find out here, that I have a certified plot plan again, and it's not in his property. So right now, I feel satisfied that he's putting a master bedroom in there and a family room. That's all he's adding to his house.
So if someone buys that house, they can't just put that door back?
Listen, I'm not here to negotiate, but if you want, you know what, you have the floor, sir. So
okay, no, that's it. That's all. I mean, if nothing changed except for a door, you said it the last time. You could throw a pair of stairs in there.
But now we can't. If you look at the set of plans, the way it goes through the hallway, you got to go all the way across the hallway. No one's going to use that. You think they're going to use that for B&B? They're not.
And what about the windows? What about the privacy?
What?
What about the windows on the plan?
What about them?
The privacy.
So you want them to take out windows?
So, I mean, they're already close enough. We were told there weren't going to be any windows, and now there are going to be windows?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I never even heard that before. First time I ever heard that. We're going to have no windows. I don't know, but Mr. McCarthy is online. I'm going to get him in a second.
Sure.
Anything else, Dennis?
No, that's about it.
All right. Mr. McCarthy, please. Councilman
Marty. Mr. Chairman, just a couple of comments. When I met with Dennis, was the first time I was introduced to a very strange property line that went into the corner. And it was concerning at the time. I didn't talk to Travis. I got with Travis a couple of times, and we even discussed possibly moving the property line. And I know that Travis Jacobs was in favor to straighten it out so that the house wasn't close to the McGaldys. Now, I know that 13.5 is the number we use in regards to the setback on the side. It's 15.
Yep.
And he came back and put aside the notion of any type of two-family or in-law setup by creating a front porch, a solid front porch. So, my thoughts from day one was to keep it away from the McGaldys as far as it can. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Jacobs increased it by 2 feet to 15. So I thought we were in good shape, and I think it turned out pretty well. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I really do. I agree with you. I think it's nice. It's nice. He's putting in a master suite upstairs in a family room, and it's his property, and he's going by what he can do here. And we're trying to make everybody happy in the neighborhood. And I know some people build a little bigger house than the other person. Person gets upset, or a person builds like we're going to have Gertrude tonight. And there you go. Someone's going to build in front of someone and people get upset because they had that look for 30, 40 years, and it's gone. Well,
yeah, my whole thought was not to cram a house down on the McGaldys. I was trying to get it as further away as they can, but we have certain guidelines that people go by, and we try to hold them to those guidelines. Is sometimes no variances or special permits are thrown into the works, but like I said, you and I were out yesterday and we looked at all the properties and talked a little bit more about them to make sure they all worked right. So.
Mhm. Thank you, Council, and thank you for your time yesterday. Spend a couple hours. That was good. Thanks again. Is there anyone else? Last call. Against or undecided? All that part of the hearing closed. I think the guy did what I wanted to do. I wanted him to see what's going on with that lot line, make sure we got the right distance from the neighbor, make sure the lot line was right, fix the front of the house so it don't look like a two-family house, because it looked like it had two entrances. Make it a one-entrance home so you can look there and see it's a regular house. And if you go through upstairs, you got to go through the other side of the house to go upstairs and across and everything. So it's the master suite upstairs, and I think he's done everything that I wanted done on that piece of property, and I think it's a beautiful home. It's going to have a beautiful home. I'll be voting in favor. Mr. Cabeas, comments?
I'll be voting in favor.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yeah, I'll be opposed. The main reason is because I think it's a stretch to call it a 1.5-story addition. The other thing is they're making notes that they're pulling the existing garage. They're putting a building away from the back lot line. But on top of it, it's a half-story garage in the backyard. Now it'll be what I consider a 2.5-story building in 7 feet. So I'll be voting against.
Right, but he has a right to a 2.5-story. I know what you're saying. Okay, Mr. Chin?
Yes, I unfortunately wasn't present for the last hearing when this was heard, but based on what I've heard today, I believe the applicant has provided what the board requested for the most part, and so I'll be voting in favor.
Mr. Himmel?
I'll be voting in favor.
Could I have a motion, please, Mr. Cabeas?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, amendment number 21-35, Hardy and Man Design Group for a finding variance to construct a 1.5-story expansion to the left of the single-family dwelling on the premises number 108 Pontiac Road. I make a motion to grant the finding and the variance.
Second.
Seconded. Madam Clerk, can we have a voice vote, please?
Okay. Martin Aiken,
Yes.
Mike Cabeas,
Yes.
Charlie O'Brien,
No.
Russell Chin,
Yes.
John Himmel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And everybody, Mr. Ray Dell has been with us through this hearing. He's online with us now. Okay, further on to tonight's.
Just thank you to the board.
You're
Have
welcome.
a good night.
Night.
He can vote, so they got the.
Tonight we have DBA 2136. Virtual Capital Group LLC for variance, special permit floodplain to construct a new side-by-side duplex style garage parking on the premises number 599 C Street. Is the applicant or the representative here?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Edward Fleming. I'm here on behalf of Virtual Capital.
Hey, someone, you please, anyone out there that you're not in the board.
That we did a minor modification on December 11th of 2018 related to the entrance drive and some modifications to the parking layout.
I got you.
So Connor and I have been working with Mr. DeVellis for a while. We put together a punch list. We walked the site a couple weeks ago. The materials
Okay. Yes.
Board, could you please unmute yourself? You should be able to.
The power that you have, Mr. Chairman, is really wonderful. So,
Yeah. And hold on, please. Can everyone hear me? John?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
The chin?
Yes, I can hear you.
Debate?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, Edward Fleming again for Virtual Capital Group. As you know, this is a continued matter from a hearing last month, during which we made the full presentation of the proposal, which called for the construction of a new duplex-style building on the approximately 5,000 square foot site. During that presentation, this was open to the public, and Lillian Austin, who I know is joining us tonight, I saw her on the list of folks that are here, raised some concerns that she hadn't had an opportunity to review the plans and wanted to have a chance to chat with the owner and review the plans to express her concerns about the proposal. Therefore, the matter was continued to this date. Since that time, my client has spoken with Lily and her husband a number of times over the phone. He also had a meeting at the site with them where he had an opportunity to share the plans in detail. We also reached out to Councilor McCarthy, who assisted as well in setting up an appropriate meeting by reaching out to the folks. From that meeting, my client advises that the primary issue of concern that Ms. Austin raised was concerns about flooding, something that she had raised during our meeting last month. And they talked about ways in which they could alleviate her concerns about flooding. They talked about the fact that this is going to be built above the ground, obviously, so there's going to be a flow-through foundation to allow the water to flow through. But she raised concerns about the pavement of the driveway, which was going to be a large driveway in the front of the property, and also the pavement of the walkways. And my client noticed, and they discussed the use of pavers by the Austins. The Austins actually have a paver driveway and a paver walkway. So they talked about the use of that material to allow for a permeable surface as opposed to a paved surface. So the revised plans that were submitted to the board provide for permeable pavers to be utilized rather than a pavement of the driveway and the walkway. I know I'm joined tonight by Jim Bailey, and Jim is here tonight. Jim can show those plans in a little bit more detail. They may not be easy to read on the documents that you may have in front of you. So Jim, if Jim can be given the opportunity to share his screen, he can kind of highlight those permeable pavers so that the board will be able to see that more clearly, and that Miss Austin would be able to do so as well.
You got to share, Jim, so we can get the screen.
I think you can share.
No, you got to give him the.
Yeah. Who's going to share the screen?
Jim. Who's sharing the screen with you?
Jim Bailey, James Bailey.
Yeah, I'm trying to share it, saying the host has disabled it.
Yeah,
currently.
I know. We
Okay.
shut it down. So,
Okay. Who is it again?
Jim Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay. It should be shared now.
Yeah.
Okay, so as Ed was saying, the permeable pavers would be the entire parking area, which is about 13,066 square feet, as well as the paths. It could all be the same material, it would just be pavers that are permeable in nature, so water can flow through them, and there'd be a gravel base underneath where the water can be stored until it kind of dissipates. That's really it with the pavers. There is.
How's that going to work, and what kind of storage do you have underneath?
Well, it's built, it's assembled like a typical patio. It would just be the use of.
You don't have any storage at all. It's just gonna go into the ground and then whatever it does, it does.
Where the driveway is, yes.
Yeah.
So it's like pavers that have spacers built in so they can't butt up and water can flow through them.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I think the main concern that I know that Ms. Austin, and she can certainly speak for herself tonight, and her husband raised, is the whole concept of water being running off the paved driveway and the pathways. This will allow the water to flow through the cracks in the pavers or the separations between the pavers and allow what storage is available underneath that, at least for the water to flow into the ground below. And I don't know that our engineer is here tonight, but he's certainly worked on the engineering aspects of this plan, which is being reviewed by DPW and by Conservation Commission, and we'll continue to work with them to satisfy their concerns about whatever ways in which we can deal with, the infiltration of water through this paver surface, but also any storage capacity that we can create under the site. But it was really the concern about water simply running off the driveway and the which really goes to the edges of the property, to ensure the Austins that they would not have runoff from this site onto their property. And so the pavers will address that concern about runoff by allowing the water to filter through the spaces between the pavers. In addition to that, we have the flow through foundation, which allows the water to flow through as well. This is different than the property that we proposed on the opposite side at 651 C Street, which was all enclosed in an enclosed garage. This is much more open in its nature because of the flood conditions in this area, and this is going to allow the water to flow through if in fact it gets to that level. So that's our presentation tonight. That was in light of the conversations that Dimitri had with the Austins. I know that Lillian's here tonight, and she can certainly speak to this as well. We're hopeful that that this is responsive to the concerns that were raised. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Well, I was under the impression that you're going to meet with them and talk about maybe moving the house, or maybe shrinking the house a little bit, or something like that. But I got nothing in the new plans, and you're 5 feet off the property line on each side. And I went down to the guy beside him on the right, and no one went over there and spoke with that whole complex next door, the three of them that are there. I met today with those guys. Is that correct, Council? No one met with them?
Yeah, we didn't meet with any other neighbors. We were not aware that any other neighbors had expressed concern. Certainly everyone's received notice of this proposal. No one appeared at the last meeting. If we had known that others were also concerned, we could have certainly spoken with them. Are they, Mr. Akins? Are they folks that live in the apartment building, or the building next door, opposite?
No, it's not an apartment building.
I'm sorry, the condominium building. Yeah.
Sure, and they were upset about the 5 feet off the property line when and this is different than the other one. The other one went in small and opened up, so you had a little more room.
Well, this opens up in the rear too. It does come. It is pulled off the property line in the back of the property, although it's 5 feet or a little more than 5 feet in the front. It does open up in the back.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find the plot plan here when I arrived. I thought it was 5.5 feet. That thing was off. Is that
it
correct?
Actually expands to 7.5, I believe, in the rear of the site.
Yeah, the rear, but the front, 5.5. Right where that building starts is where the condo in her house are.
Right, and it's also, as you can see, it's stepped back as it comes up off the garage. The reason why the proposal provides for the width that it does of the building is to allow parking under the building for 2 spaces for each unit. But that whole area is open. And then, as you see, Mr. Bailey actually brought the building in on the side, on the second and the third level. So it does step back further from the property line than the 5 feet. So it goes to, I'm not sure, Jim, what it is, about 7 feet up there.
It's the majority of the building is 7'3". Just like
Plot plan there. I can't. Maybe I missed it. I was looking for mine too. I can't.
Please.
Good.
So the majority of the building is 7'3", just 5'9" at the garage itself on the ground floor. But the entire face of the side is actually all 7'3" off the property line.
Majority of the building.
Yeah, like even just looking at this perspective, the entire face of the house
is where the parking is, right in the middle of the building. It's 5 3/4 in the middle of the building.
These concrete piers and where this step is at the first floor ceiling, that step's over 18 inches. So that's 5'3" here, and then it's 5'9" here, and then it's 7'3" above and in the back.
So, Mr. Akins, it's essentially the parking spaces under the building are about 5.5 feet from the property line, but the building itself is 7.5 feet.
Oh, so it's going in. I see what you're saying. It goes in about a foot. Yeah. I can see it on both sides now. I see what you're saying, 7 feet. All right, let's go through and see what we got here. Thank you. Were there any questions of the board members, Mr. Bass?
No, not now.
Mr. O'Brien?
Not at this time.
Mr. Chin?
No questions yet.
Mr. Himmel?
No questions.
All right, is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in favor? This is
Can you go back to screen?
Yeah, can you go back, take him out, and then if we need to, and then you gotta stop making him a co-host, I
I
guess.
think yes.
Can you take the plans down, please? So I can see the screen, who's speaking. I only got one screen here. The guy sharing a screen, could you please, Mr. Bailey, take those plans down? I don't know. This is gonna be one hell of a long night.
I'm doing well.
Mr. Bailey, can you take those plans down before we cancel them? Can you take them down? Click out of that, please. Or just take them out as co-chair. And then that'll do it. Oh, and he should be gone.
Stop participating, Steering.
Why isn't he? There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? I'm trying to get him to take them down. I thought he could click it out. I know you were, but if he can't click it out. No. You're doing a great job. It's nothing. No. Jonathan's fired. Jonathan's showing why he's worth more money. Where is John? Any questions, Mr. O'Brien? Anyone have any questions?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay. Is there anyone that want to speak in favor? Anyone raise your hand? Second call. Star 9. Someone? Anyone? No? Lillian Austinberry. Where are you?
Maybe she didn't join.
No, it's right there on the
Oh,
left.
Lillian, there's Lillian.
Lillian's on the left.
Is she raising her hand?
No, but she's still the neighbor that they had the meeting with.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from her. Lillian, are you there? Right there, yeah. 1 second. Lillian?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Now, I spoke with you, and I never got the results from you, and no one here does. So we want to hear what you have to say.
Okay. I've been talking to Dimitri off and on, and he finally made arrangements to meet on the site.
Okay.
And we did last week. My husband brought his ruler, and we went through to visually see how big that building is going to be.
Yep.
And because the dimensions really don't show on the prints, the blueprints. So we measured everything. We told him that the 5 3/4, whatever, was not really acceptable. But we'd like to see more on the side because it actually the zoning calls for 13 square foot, and that's just really unacceptable. But anyway, he said that he would put pavers in to help alleviate the flooding on the sides and the driveway because he was going to put asphalt or cement there, whatever.
Yep.
So then he measured the length of the building, which he said it was going to be 39 square feet, and so we did that, and we were concerned that it was further than that because on the plans it showed that the rear porch and stairs were going to add on another 4 feet.
Yep.
So he said, no, it wasn't going to be that much bigger. And he had to do that by law for fire and safety reasons. Mm-hmm. So we didn't give any indication that we were for it or against it because we wanted to go in and look at the plans and I take notes down. And what he had said was 25-foot frontage, 39 to the back, and 5'9" on the sides. We asked him if he had talked to the other neighbors, and he said no. My husband said, would you please leave some plans for him? Because we talked to him, and he wasn't sure of what was going on because he works from home, and he's working all day. So anyway, we came in and went over it with the plans we had, and he said he would send us new plans. The new plans are the same as the old plans. In fact, it looks like the building is bigger in the back because now if you look at the plans, they look like they have enclosed the stair casings in the building itself, which makes it actually 4 feet from what he said was outside. Then the height, he said, was going to be 33 and 31, and then with the patches on the top on the roof, it would add another 3 feet.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. We're really concerned about the size of the building, which these 5,000 square foot lots that were originally delineated for these buildings down here were all for single family homes. And really, it's not that we're looking for, if they had 8,000 square feet, had enough footage, then, we had no complaints. But it's only 5,000 square feet. We're in the lowest level flooding here. And we really need to, put a check on it. And hopefully we asked him to downsize, and we don't think he did because as I said, we went over all the plans, all the dimensions on the tables that he has on each page. It hasn't changed. So with that, we can't really be in favor of the project.
Okay. I just want to say, I stopped by your house last night, I don't know, 6 o'clock, maybe a little before, 5:30. 2 cars were there, but no one answered.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if we don't know who it is, we don't answer in these days. We had somebody selling solar today. So, and last week it was pest control. So, I don't know. You look different in the daylight, maybe.
Maybe I look different in the daylight.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't have a Bible with me or nothing.
You're probably more handsome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't get jealous, you other guys.
Oh, I am.
All right. So anyway, so that's where we're at.
Bring him in for it. I appreciate it. And the board will they're listening to you. They're all online.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? Does anyone want to speak in favor? Can we get rid of
I'm her husband.
I can see maybe.
You want to speak against? He's asking in favor.
All right, we're gonna mute Lillian.
Thank you, Lillian.
My husband wants to speak against.
Okay, hold on, boss.
And you know what? I didn't raise my hand, did I? and
Oh,
take the oath.
yeah, all right, take an oath now, so everything you
Yeah,
said.
I don't want Michael to lose his job.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Michael,
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Or should I say, did you tell the truth?
Yes,
So help
I
you God?
did. Yes, I did. Thank you.
and now the husband wants to speak. Can he take an oath?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
You're up.
Okay, the issue with this is the size. It's totally, I mean, if he took 10 feet off on the width, then he wouldn't have a problem. But he hasn't taken an inch. All the plans are the same plans, the same story, everything else.
I hear what you're saying.
You know, and these plans are the worst plans I've ever seen. I mean, the DPW had to send them a note that the sewer line is 6 inches, not 1. So you're dealing with whatever.
Yep.
All right, that's all I got to say. I just
All right,
doing anything else.
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging in. Is there anyone else want to speak in favor? Anyone? Second call? Anyone want to speak in favor? Third call. Counselor, do you want to say anything before I go against, or you want to just hold on to the end?
No, I'll jump in, Chairman. You know where I kind of stand on this. I'm glad Dimitri got with Lillian. I've spoken with Lillian multiple times, and I know, you know, she's on top of everything down there. She understands the zoning. It's an area where it probably shouldn't be residence B. You know, all the small cottages that were there probably, you know, were there long before zoning, and then a few apartments went in and things changed. And now every time we take a single family out along that stretch, we're trying to squeeze, you know, at least a 2 townhouses or
duplex
or a 2-family in and take advantage. And I know it's all about the money. So, but when you look at 5,000 square feet and we kicked it back and forth, the size of this, you know, is an issue in regards to that 5 feet. You know, we just had one on Pontiac. We talked about 13 and we got 15.
Yeah.
And I know the neighbor wasn't pleased with the 15, but I'm sure if it was 15 right now, the Austins would be okay with it. But it's not. It's only 5, and it's only 5 on the other side. So I'm still on the negative on supporting it, only because it's got to be a little bit smaller. It maybe can be shifted a little bit. I don't know. I haven't heard from the condo owner over there on that side. I think there was one person who voiced his opinion, but Lillian was the only game in town, which is next door. And all the points she made, along with her husband, are pretty valid. So I sit right there, Mr. Chairman, on not supporting, only because we're just trying to force too many things in small areas, especially along that stretch.
Thank you, Counselor. And I went next door and met with the neighbor that owns the condo closest to the project, and he was really upset about the 5.5 feet. He stepped it off. He goes, "So I'm going to be looking at this," and I goes, well, you know, that's what he wants. So he should be online tonight because he said he was going to be online. He might be on the cell phone. I don't know. We'll have to.
He's on. He's waving at you.
So anyway, I talked to him too. Thank you, Counselor, for your time and for hanging in. Is there anyone else?
Thank you.
Brian O'Connor.
Brian, are you
Chairman.
again?
Yeah, Brian O'Connor's there.
Yeah, you've just been
Swear to the truth.
now if you want me.
Brian.
Hold on, everybody. Stop, please. Brian, are you in favor or against?
I'm opposed, sir.
Hold on. We'll give you a chance to
Go
speak.
right ahead.
All right, we'll call that part of the hearing closed. Well,
Hold on, Mr. Chairman.
No, she's not in favor of it. No one. Ann, are you in favor of that? Ann?
Mr. Chairman.
Wait a minute. Everyone stop, please.
Hi, Marty. No, I'm not in favor of it. I think the lot's too small and
I'm going to give you a chance to speak right now. Let's do the hearing by order, okay, everybody? Everyone relax. We're down to that part of the hearing's closed. I got a letter here from the DPW on the correspondence, June 7, 2021, 599 C Street, case number ZBA 2136. We reviewed submittal for the above referenced project. Our comments are as follows. Number one, the proposed sewer service should be 6-inch diameter and the proposed water service should be 1-inch diameter. Number two, provide a shut-off valve and box for the water service. 3, provide a clean-out for the sewer service. 4, upon completion of the project, as-built plan showing all utilities, building footprints needs to be submitted along with a digital file. An elevation certificate should also be submitted to the property in a flood zone. And anything further, please advise. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Opposed or undecided? Council Mahoney?
Hi, sorry about that. I thought you were asking me to speak earlier. I'm opposed.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it all in order and everyone's, yeah, okay, you're up.
I'm opposed. It's the lot's too small. They're looking for a variance. So this is not a right to build, and it's a 2-family home going on a 5,000 square foot lot. It's too small.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Donna, the phone was there.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good.
Do I need to do an oath, anything?
Yeah.
Good?
You don't have to, but go ahead.
Okay. Noel DeBona, Quincy City Councilor at Large, 70 Chickatobit Road, Ward 1 residents. Just abutting the Austins here, I'm speaking against the project, the sheer size on the 5,000 square foot particular lot. I heard her speak, Lillian and John as well, and they give good valid points, and that's why I'm against this project as of right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Mr. O'Connor, you're up. You're the abutter.
Yes, sir. Thank you for alerting me to this meeting yesterday.
Brian, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, yes.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. O'Connor, the other day. Yesterday.
Talked to you last night. Thank you.
You're up.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was not notified of, I was notified of one meeting a month or two ago, and, unfortunately wasn't able to make it, so I appreciate you getting in touch with me last night, letting me know about this one. But yeah, this is the first time I've actually seen these particular plans, because the ones that are online still show a single family and 12-foot setback and everything. But looking at under 6-foot setback is not what was there. It's far too small a lot. I mean, I know we're a 3-unit condo building here, but we're a whole lot bigger. So you probably multiple combined lots here. So it's a little bit better. I actually measured after we spoke yesterday the distance between my property and the building here, and it's 12 feet. So I mean, seeing what that is and then seeing what half of that would be, that's pretty darn close. And even some of the flooding issues are a problem. I mean, even if you put pavers in, pavers are still going to slow the drain. I know there've been flooding issues here before. It's not as permeable as soil. It's more permeable than cement, but it's still going to be less permeable, and that's still going to back up a little bit of rain in the event of an incident like a few years ago out here. So I'm not particularly. It's the first time I've seen these plans, and they still look a little overblown for the size of that lot.
So, Connor, thank you for your time, and thanks for dialing in tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Akins.
Anyone else opposed or undecided? John Rodefeld, Citizen Rodefeld. John, take an oath, please.
Hi, John. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. There I am. John Rodefeld, 2 Grand Wall Road. How you doing?
What's the new look?
The new look is that this is taking forever. But anyway, thank you for starting late, because today I was late. So sometimes starting a meeting late is actually good. So thank you. But this one, I just wanted to make a point. Let's say if you have an empty lot. Right now, this is sort of like a parking lot. And what the zoning basically says that if you're going to build something and it's going to make something worse, it's going to be a hardship for the neighbors. So right now there's basically like a parking lot there where all the rain falls and makes puddles. Well, once you put a house there that's going to take up 50% of the lot, all the water is going to drain off the house, and it's going to be twice as much water, simple math, that's going to be on the land that's going to be there. And it's still going to roll off the pavers. They put sandstone in between the pavers and stuff where it's kind of like a driveway where the water does flow off. I mean, one of the things you could say, if they were going to approve this, make sure the slope of the pavers is sloping towards the building and the slope of the pavers aren't sloping towards the Austin's yard. But 5 feet on each side, you know, when I was looking at the picture on the back, there's 4 different balconies. So this kind of looks like an Airbnb sort of special thing, and it's kind of what we're going against. And when they put that 3 unit in next door, I would have to say that they never probably thought anything was ever going to be built in this lot. Because of how the zoning was, it doesn't seem like any, you know, if you actually followed the zoning laws and you were 13 feet on both sides, you could barely build anything on that lot. So the bottom line is that the condo to the left is going to go down in value and the house to the right is going to go down in value. And that is a hardship. So I would say they didn't make it smaller. You know, they had an opportunity to present a smaller project that maybe would have been a nice compromise, but
all right, John, it's gonna be a long night. Come on, let's go.
Well, the good thing is this: is I will not speak on another item. So
that's all I'm saying. It's gonna be a long night.
Like I said, I know that's why I'm keeping the camera rolling and I'm out of here. I can't handle watching this anymore. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, John. Is there anyone else? Opposed or undecided?
Kate Woolley.
Who?
Kate Woolley.
Kate. We're going to unmute you. You're up.
Okay.
Kate, do you swear?
Kate, could you please take an oath?
Do you swear to tell
Yes.
the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
I do. I just want to briefly support those who have spoken against the project. I live at 685 C Street and took a walk down and couldn't believe what was being proposed. People have made good points about, I'm glad I got more information about the pavers because I was skeptical as to how big a difference that would make. And it just seems way oversized for that tiny strip of land. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and thanks for dialing in tonight. Anyone else? Opposed or undecided? Third call? Opposed or undecided? All that part of the hearing closed. I've heard from the neighbors, but I'll tell you, this lot's different than the other lot. And from one, I didn't believe that it would kind of work there, but you know, and I thought you were gonna go down and see if you could move the building a couple feet to give the neighbor a break and he could work somehow with the condo owners. That didn't work, so I don't even think Rinka will do that because I don't think it'll work out for you. So I'm just going to vote no, and that's my opinion. Mr. Cabeas, comments?
I'll be voting no too because it 5 feet is awful, not a lot. And to say, well, we brought in the building, but you didn't bring in, you can't bring in for this plan, bring in the garage. So you still have it sticking out. You're going to be walking outside your house. You're going to be seeing it like, 5 feet. So I'll be voting no.
Mr. O'Brien?
I kind of agree on the size. It's kind of big. But I see a trouble when they're trying to put something else in there. I don't know what we'll end up with. So, but I'll be voting along with the other two saying no.
Thank you. Mr. Chin?
Right. So the house is too big. The lot's too small. I understand that they try to stagger and step back a little bit, but they didn't go far enough. And so I'll be voting no.
All right.
I think I was on the original case, Marty. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, you were. I know they had a brand new set of plans tonight, but nothing changed except for the.
Yeah, I mean,
Mr. Himmel, did you hear that whole case last time?
Yeah, I did.
All right, you can step in. Go ahead. Let me, you're up, Mr. Himmel.
Lots too small, property's too big. I'll be voting no.
All right, Counselor, I'll give you a chance to withdraw, or we just vote.
No, Mr. Chairman, I would like the opportunity to withdraw without prejudice. And I want to apologize for the confusion. I think that my client took from the conversation with the Austins that the changes that he was making to the paver product was something that was sufficient for them to address the issues related to flooding. And I apologize that he left that meeting maybe not with a clear picture as to what he was being asked to do. But I would respectfully request the opportunity to withdraw without prejudice so that we can rethink this proposal and move forward. So with that, if we could withdraw without prejudice. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Space, could I have a motion, please, to let him withdraw without prejudice? He's going to have to change the
Yes,
whole
Mr. Chair.
Come back.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Matter number 21-36, Virtual Capital Group LLC for a variance special permit floodplain to construct a new side-by-side duplex-style building with garage parking on the premises number 599 C Street. I make the motion to withdraw it without prejudice.
Second.
Madam Clerk, can we get a voice vote, please?
Sure can. Mike Coveas,
Yes.
Charlie O'Brien,
Yes.
Russell Chin,
Yes.
John Himmel,
Yes.
Marty Akins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Well, all right, what's going on with Bergen Park?
We asked for a revised plan.
I've got those.
Okay, perfect.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Further on to tonight's agenda, Mr. Raydell, you're in. And Mr. Himmel is going to sit this one out. Case number ZBA 2141, Claire O'Neill for variance finding to reconfigure the layout, construct a rear addition on the two-family home on the premise 109 Thomas Bergen Parkway. Is the applicant a representative here?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi. So my name's Claire O'Neill. I'm here tonight on behalf of my father, Patrick O'Neill, who owns 109, 111 Thomas Bergen Parkway.
Excuse me a minute. Are you a lawyer?
Oh, no, I'm not a lawyer. Sorry.
Yay.
Swear in, please.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so when we were here last month, we were proposing for a variance and a finding to reconfigure the layout and construct a rear addition to the existing two-family home on our lot. One of the main concern was the parking and that we didn't have 4 defined parking spaces. So we went back with the architect and the the plot planner, and we changed where the stairs were going to be so we could fit 4 parking spaces in the back of the lot. And the garage on the new plot plan, that's going. It's just there to show you where it is. We're demolishing it.
All right, you're taking that out. And now this is still going to be a two-family home, and you're adding the second and third floor is going to be the master that's going to go down the second unit?
Correct.
So it's still a
Sorry, what was that?
still a two-family.
How do you break it up?
It's still a two-family home?
Correct, yes.
All right. All right. Is there any questions of the board?
At this time.
Was the parking our only issue?
Well, that was, yeah, I think it was like, we're just like, there's no place to put these cars and they're adding bedrooms, master suite upstairs in the third attic. And then there's just no place to park.
So the 4 are what we're looking for, and they reconfigured them, correct?
Right. And we told them, get rid of the garage, make some parking there the way it should be. And I just hope they got some turnaround space in there. And they're removing the porch steps, and they're coming down the side, the other side, so there's going to be room for a turnaround there.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
That
What do-
was knocked out the garage, the driveway.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I can't even see the screen. What are we doing here? No. I just can't see this. Where's the screen? Where's the...
We have to take testimony?
No, not yet. Mr. Chin, you have any questions, the applicant?
There's no change to the footprint, they're just adding a set of stairs and taking away a set of stairs, right?
Yeah, they're taking out the back and they're taking out the garage and then they're adding the 4 spots. So now they have parking there.
Thank you. No other questions.
The parking, right. And Mr. Radell?
Property needs some love. I'm glad to see an investment in it finally.
Thank you. No, yeah, he don't want to speak anymore. He says it's gonna be a long night, but he's going somewhere. Does anyone want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in favor? They've done what we've asked. Anyone? No one. Second call? Third call? Call up out of hearing closed. There's no new correspondence. What we did is we asked them to put parking in there, get rid of the garage and move those stairs. We have a radio, so we did. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Stephen, you trying to?
Just logged in.
Oh, Stephen, are you speaking on this? Did you want to? No, I guess not. No hand up. Second call. Opposed or undecided on this project? Bergen Parkway, 109. Third call. Opposed or undecided? Call that part of the hearing closed. I'll be voting in favor. I think it's like Radell said, nice to see someone putting some money into that, clean it up, and we'll have parking now at least than before, and there'll be a better haunt. I'll be voting in favor. Mr. Cabeas.
Yes, I'll be voting in favor too. I also think that Brian's spot on with this.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yep, in favor.
Mr. Chin?
I am in favor.
And Mr. Radell?
We're in favor, and I like that the board agrees with me.
It will be very pretty when I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Cabeas, could I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, in matter number 21-41, Claire O'Neill for a variance finding to reconfigure the layout and construct a rear addition to the existing 2-family home on the premises numbered 109 Thomas Bergen Parkway. I make a motion to grant the variance and the finding.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can I have a voice vote?
Michael Bayes,
Yes.
Charlie O'Brien,
Yes.
Russell Chin,
Yes.
Brian Riddell,
Yes.
Marty Aiken.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna take 2 minutes. Hey, guys, can we just take 2 quick minutes, really? 2 minutes. Make it quick, whatever you got to do. We're just going to make it quick.
Thank
Yeah, you're
you.
all set. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Mr. Himmel, are you in? Or did he take a, oh, there he is. Mr. Himmel? John?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you're back. You're in. Further on to tonight's agenda is Gertrude here?
That's Gina.
Jean?
All right, so my name is Lane Goldberg. She had asked.
Hold on 1 second. We all set, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, you have the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just going to ask for a later call on this. She had asked to be called
No
later.
problem.
Because
I just thought you were in, so that's fine. I'll call you at the end.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. Further on to tonight, ZBA 2148, JCBT Architect for a variance to subdivide the existing lot into 2 lots and construct a single-family home on the newly created premises numbered 40 Howe Street. Is the applicant a representative here?
Yes.
Jim check.
You a lawyer, Jim?
Yes. Oh, no, I'm not attorney. No, I'm sorry.
All right, Bill, take an oath from Mr. Bass, please.
Did you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, and the members of the board. Subject property I'm talking tonight is the 40 Howe Street.
Yep.
Currently, it's a 12,500 square feet lot area in residential A zoning district. The applicant is looking to subdivide the lot into two lots. And currently it's a single family residence on the lot. So we're going to subdivide it on the left side, which is a vacant lot. The newly created lot will be 5,000 square feet. So our proposal is a 912 square foot footprint building, 2.5 stories, new construction, with a 7 feet by 15 feet rear deck at the back of the property. So the first floor is basically a living area with half bath and an office. Second floor is a 2-bedroom plus 2 bath. Third floor attic, it will be a master bedroom and a master bath. We met all the dimensional requirements, setbacks, but will require variance for the minimum lot size and the lot width. So we also propose 3 off-street parking, which will also require variance for the excess of 30% parking in the front yard. I believe that you're going to have more. Your driveways, you're saying, is over 30, correct? The driveway in the front yard will be over 30.
Okay.
So I think the lot size and the architectural characteristic is quite consistent with the surrounding neighbor. So I hope the board will consider granting this proposal. Thank you.
Number one, so we're going to make the house next door a non-conforming house now, so it's going down to 7 feet, correct?
Correct.
You have parking in the front. Every house on that street almost has the same footprint as you. And they all have giant lawns, but you want to take that. I'm just telling you how I feel. You want to take this piece of property, which is a gorgeous piece of property, chop it up, stuff a house in here, and wreck the front yard. It's going to be the only place with 3 parking spaces on that whole street. Just so you know, those are my comments. I will not be voting in favor of this, but anyway, you got 4 other guys here. Any comments from on the applicant and his application so far? That whole street would be chopped up if this was allowed. Everyone would do it, and it would look like a horror show. It's probably one of the best streets in Germantown. It's gorgeous there. Those are gorgeous homes, gorgeous lawns. Anyway, Mr. Bass, you're up.
I don't have any questions at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. O'Brien, any comments or anything?
Let me just check. This isn't an existing lot that was subdivided. And you know, I mean, 2 side-by-side lots. This is one lot.
It's a 12,000 square foot lot, and what they're doing is they want to make a non-conforming lot on the other side by going down to 7 feet on their side. So that home that's conforming with always now will be a non-conforming lot. And they're going to put 3 parking spaces in the front, right on the road, and you're going to have this big chunk of tar when you drive down that street when there's all grass through that whole road. It's gorgeous.
We can't legalize 2 lots, right? Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this.
I'm having a tough time with making a small lot on those big lots.
So,
Mr. Chair.
No, those were my appointment. If you look at that whole street, it's beautiful. It's really, they're all like 12,000. They're beautiful, beautiful lots. The whole street. And so I can picture is, if this is okay, what are we going to do? We're going to chop that whole street up and make non-conforming homes out of beautiful homes down there. So I just had to let him know how I felt right away because it's a beautiful street. It's gorgeous. But anyway, he has a right. He has a right to come here. He has a right to appeal and go anywhere if it doesn't. Or he might go in favor with the four of you. I just gave my two statements, Mr. O'Brien. But like you say, he does have a right to do this. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
All right, Mr. Chin.
To be clear that if we were to approve this, there would be two non-conforming lots at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No other questions.
Okay. Wait a minute, Jim. I have people speaking first. Mr. Himmel, where is Mr. Himmel?
Mr. Himmel's right here. So as I understand it, and it has been said previously, this is one large conforming lot. And right, at the end of the day, we're going to have two non-conforming lots with the smaller lot, people parking on the front lawn. I think it's a terrible idea. My opinion.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't. Let me speak to the applicant. I just think we might have a problem off the bat.
Okay. So,
but this is right. You can
based on the map.
Yeah.
Based on the custom map, there's two lots available. This is like two lot numbers. I don't know if that would that be considered a two lot.
You know what? Any way you configure it, you want to do it. Every lot down there has that same configuration. So if this is one go, if we approve that, the neighbor will do it. The other neighbors will do it. And you know what? You had a beautiful street with a beautiful yard. He just bought this number one and just rebuilt it, correct?
Excuse me?
Did he just buy this house and rebuild it?
I don't know. I'm not the homeowner.
Well, you drew it for him. Didn't he just buy this and redo it?
I think he just bought it.
Yeah, he's rebuilding it now. He's in the middle of the construction down there now.
Okay.
There's a big dumpster in the yard, and he's working on the house, and he's trying to get it ready to make a sale. That's just mine. But I'm thinking you got a few people here, but we can go through the hearing, and you have a right to do anything you want at the end too, and you have a right to see if it goes good or bad, and then we'll go from there. Is that all right?
All right. Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in favor? First call. Second call. Third call. Call up how the hearing closed. Any correspondence, Madam Clerk? DPW, I have a letter here of correspondence. 40 House Street, case number ZBA 2148, August 3rd, 2021. We reviewed the submittal of the above referenced project. Our comments are as follows. 1, specify how much impervious area will be increased due to the development. 2, provide plans showing the existing site conditions, layout of utility, grading, draining, and construction details. 3, explain how the surface runoff will be discharged and treated. 4, on completion of the project, as-built plan showing all utilities, building footprints needs to be submitted along with digital file. If there's anything else, please advise. Is there anyone who'll call up part of the hearing closed? Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Opposed or undecided? Anyone want to speak?
Yes.
Yeah, I got calls from people on Shed Street. Yeah, someone just said, hello, just raise your hand.
I'm opposed to it.
All right, hold up. Councilor Mahoney?
Hi, I would like to speak against this. The neighbors are not happy with this. It's not going to fit with the neighborhood, and for all of the same reasons that many of you have already stated. But I'm opposing this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Council McCarthy, any comments?
Yeah, Rob. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, we spent a couple hours yesterday looking at a lot of things that are on this agenda, and this was the first stop at 40 Howe. We spent probably a half an hour.
Right.
And you're right. The neighborhood is very similar. Probably 85 to 90% of it have similar lots that are beautiful, that if this went down, it would trigger everybody to try to go to a non-conforming type of attack, and we'd have at least 2 or 3 more of these popping up on House Street, maybe other areas down in Gull Point, which to me is a hidden jewel down there in Germantown. It's a beautiful neighborhood, and it's a place where I think it shouldn't be touched. So I won't be supporting this, and for all the reasons that have been put out already, in keeping that neighborhood intact the way it is. So thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Anyone else? Second call?
Go ahead.
I'm hearing someone, but I don't even know how to speak.
Yes, 54 House Street.
Just Nancy?
Nancy Lubier and
Yep.
Michael Kenny.
Nancy, could you please take an oath, Mr. Craig?
Sure,
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Both ears? Yes and yes.
Okay, thank you.
You have the floor.
Okay, I agree with everything that everybody has been saying. The neighborhood is a beautiful neighborhood, and I do think that other neighbors could do the same exact thing if this were to pass. To have 2 lots that neither one conform, to me is crazy. And we're hoping that this does not go through and does not ruin our neighborhood. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Your husband want to speak?
Mike?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm at 54 House Street, Michael Kenny. In 1985, I subdivided a lot that was much larger than what they're proposing. And I met all the requirements, square footage, frontages, and I think my house blended in nicely with how the other houses look. And if this was the case back then, I could have probably put 3 houses on 50-foot lots, which would be totally unacceptable. I would not want that. I never would do that. I own the house next door at 48, and I subdivided, and I built a nice rambling home with plenty of frontage and square footage. To do this, to create 40 House Street, would be basically creating 2 undersized lots. It would be sticking a 2.5-story home between 23 feet left over after the setbacks on the side. And it would be totally hideous as far as what the neighborhood has for houses. And I think it's not acceptable, and I am opposed to it.
Thank you very much for your time, and thanks for hanging with me. Is there anyone else? Opposed or undecided? Third call?
I'd also like to speak.
Who's this? Liberty. Is this
Liberty?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
You have the floor.
Liberty Shaft, 28 House Street. I have 40 House Street right now. This would destroy my property value. I have so many concerns about runoff. The lot size is absolutely ridiculous. Like everybody has stated before, we are all on double lots. If we all decided to do this, you would be flooded, and they would completely destroy the integrity of our neighborhood. There's so many things here that are wrong with this.
Right.
I would like to oppose.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Your
you.
husband gonna speak?
I wonder what size the width of the building is. It's 2.5 stories high. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Look like a couple trailers stacked up.
No, it's 23 feet wide. The house is only going to be 23 feet wide, 37 foot long.
Yeah, maybe I'll put one up in my driveway.
There you go. Thank you very much for your time. Is there anyone else? Last call?
Bob Kennedy.
Closed.
Bob Kennedy.
Bob Kennedy.
Hi, this is Bob Kennedy.
Hi, Bob. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
My name is Robert Kennedy. I'm a resident at 53 House Street. Thank you for all your admiration of our lovely neighborhood down here. And I just want to reinstate again, reiterate that just sticking a house in a little tiny slot would not be conducive with the character of the wonderful neighborhood that we continue to take pride in ownership down in this neighborhood. So I am opposed to any construction of any type of a dwelling that goes between 28 and 40 House Street.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for hanging in tonight. Thanks for dialing in. Is there anyone else? Last call. All that part of the hearing closed. Well, I think I'll be voting no. Ms. Cabeas?
I'll be voting no.
All right, so that's enough. You want to speak to the applicant? Would you like that withdrawn, or would you like us just to vote on it?
Mr. Chairs, based on all the comments from the board and the neighbor, I think will be our best interest to just withdraw it.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion, please, Mr. Cabeas?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Matter number 21-48, JCBT Architects for a variance to subdivide the existing lot into 2 lots to construct a single-family home on the newly created lot on the premises numbered 40 Howell Street. Make a motion to withdraw without prejudice.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can I have a voice vote?
Yes. Mike Cabeas,
Yes.
Charlie O'Brien,
Yes.
Russell Chin,
Yes.
John Himmel,
Yes.
and Martin Egan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Further on to tonight's agenda. JCBT for variance to construct a 2-story addition on the side of the upper and lower bathroom on the premise number 100 Abilene Street. Is the applicant or representative? Is that the second guy? It is. You already took an oath. You have the floor.
Does Bonnie Tan do unmute her up in the top left?
I thought, Bonnie, wait a minute.
She works with him.
Bonnie, hold on.
She's the architect on this project.
All right. Bonnie, could you take an oath, Mr. Bass?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
You have the floor.
Hi, everybody. My client is proposing to do addition of a 2-story bathroom addition of about 75 square feet of the footprint. Currently, the house is about 1,500 square feet plus or minus, with only 1 bathroom on the 2nd floor.
Right.
Owner believe is very not convenient. Excuse me. So they are proposing to install a bathroom on the 1st floor and expanding the 2nd floor bathroom.
Okay. Now, my only question is where this addition is where the
It's on the right side of the house over the existing deck.
Right. There's a deck right there, correct?
Yep. They're going to take out the deck.
Going on that deck?
They're taking out the deck and rebuilt.
And they're rebuilding it. Well, I mean, I don't know how much room you got in the front. That's what I'm worried about. You're parking there. You got 1 spot, right?
That is not affecting the parking at all.
You only have 1 spot in that whole house.
Yeah,
though.
they're keeping that.
No, I know that. I'm just worrying about what I'm seeing here for the deck on the side. So where is the? I see the bathroom. Where is the deck? You're putting the deck in the back?
The bathroom over the existing deck area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are more of it extending to the rear toward that rear bay window, just in front of the bay window. So they're not taking up any parking space in the front. They want to keep.
I'm asking you about the deck. You have a deck there right now. When you walk up, there's a deck with stairs, correct?
Yeah.
You walk up them, and they're not that good. They're in pretty bad shape. But are you going to take them out?
They're taking that out.
And you're putting
a couple of stairs, couple of steps, go up that enclosed porch hallway area, and then there's a bathroom.
But the bathroom's not going to be on the deck, on the porch part. It's going to be inside the house, correct?
Inside the house.
How far deck? Now, if you're going to move that deck, how far forward are you moving?
Probably like just 2 feet, 3 feet. They're not moving a deck They're putting a step outside. A couple of steps with the landing.
Well, I mean, never mind. It's like 4 steps there now, correct?
Yeah.
So you're saying you're gonna move it over 2 feet, so you're gonna add 2 more steps and move
They're
it
gonna
down
turn-
towards the driveway.
We're turning the stairs sideways. Currently,
out
it's
to
going
the-
straight from front to onto the deck.
Coming out to the side.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's all I want to know. I was trying to figure what you're doing with your stairs there. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
All right, any questions of the board? Mr. Purveyor,
Not at this time.
Mr. O'Brien,
Likewise, not this time.
Mr. Chin,
No questions.
Mr. Himmel?
No questions.
All right, is there anyone that would like to speak in favor? Anyone? First call? Bob? You want to speak, Bob, in favor?
Hi, Mr. Chairman. I'm the owner of the house. I just thought I would say hello and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
1 minute, Mr. Cabeas, could you please?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
You have the floor, Bob. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, and thanks to everybody, and to Bonnie and her team especially. We are real excited about this project. We're going to take the deck off completely and rebuild. There'll be no deck on the side, just steps in at that point. I just want to share my motivation. My 89-year-old mom comes to visit me and she can't get up those stairs anymore. And I think I'm heading the same direction. So I'm hoping to improve my property. We love that neighborhood. We're going to be forever residents of Quincy, and we want to invest well here. I've spoken to all my neighbors. I have wonderful neighbors. They've all been extraordinarily supportive. So thank you so much for
No, thank you so much. And that would look nice. And you know, you'd be doing that whole side over look nice too. So Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else want to speak in favor? Second call. Third call. All that part of hearing closed. I have a letter here from DPW, August 3rd, 2021, 100 Haviland Street, case number ZBA 2149. We reviewed the above reference project and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Opposed or undecided? First call. Second call. Third call. All that part of hearing closed. Mr. Cabeas, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. In case number 21-49, JCBT Architect for a variance to construct a 2-story addition on the side for an upper and lower bathroom on the premises number 100 Haviland Street. Make a motion to grant the variance.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, can we have a voice vote, Madam Clerk?
Yes. Mike Cabeas,
Yes.
Charlie O'Brien,
Yes.
thank you. Russell Chin,
Yes, in favor.
John Himmel,
Yes.
Marty Aiken.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, I would put that in there that you're opposed. Yeah, the last case. ZBA 2151, Renee Tuffy for variance to pave a portion of the front yard and to use a portion of the lot for 15 Nightingale parking relief for the fence on the premises number 2931 Nightingale Ave. Is the applicant a representative here?
I'm here, Renee Tuffy.
Renee, how are you today? Could you please take an oath, Mr. Cabeas?
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Renee, in the front of your house, you want to put parking for 2931, correct?
Correct.
And then 15, what are we doing with 15? Because the fence, I see the fences, you need a variance because it's like, they're saying it's 7 feet because the way it's got the stuff on top, because it's a bit spikes on top. So they said a 7 feet fence. So you need a variance for that. And it's a nice fence, by the way. It looks very nice. But what are you doing for parking in 15 now? It's all gravel. Are you going to pave in there?
We would like to, yes, but it is gravel now.
All right. Why don't you tell the board what you want to do? I just had to get it straight in my head.
Okay. So to the beside our building, there's a lot and we fenced it in and that's what we're going for the variance on. It's gravel now. We would like to be able to park our trucks in there at night and use it for parking.
And that's for 50.
Correct.
All right. Now, the only thing that's going to go in the other parking space in 2931 is the cars for the residents, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why it's 2 lanes wide. And the new grass that's all the way in on the right side, was that all sod? It looks good, really good. It looks nice. I'm trying to see on the other plot where it's, here. All right. Mr. Cabeas, do you have any questions?
Why is there a need for that fence that high and to have the chicken wire? Well, not chicken wire.
Well, they got the business next door, the big business, the roofing business. That's at 15. So it bugs 21. So they put their fence up on 15, but instead of 6 feet, they're calling it 7 feet because of the
barbed
spot.
wire. Yeah.
So that's why they need a variance for that height. It's like
Okay.
6. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's the chicken. What is that called? That stuff on top, Mr. Duca.
Barbed wire.
Barbed wire.
Barbed wire.
I got a brain for you there.
Looks a little scary to me.
And they want. And you want to pave the parking lot at 15. Is that what I understand?
We'd like to, yes.
Yeah. And right now it's just all gravel. Mr. O'Brien?
Right. Is there any other parking for the business? Where you're parking now, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Like for the employees, it's limited. So we're parking on the street during the day.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You gotta turn him up. There you go.
Okay.
We have limited parking. We park on the street during the day, and then we have a small parking lot to the right of our building. That's
Of
pretty
15.
limited. Yes.
Okay. Is that parking lot shared with the building on the other side?
No.
I'm in the, okay, I was looking at the other parking lot adjacent to it.
And our concern is our trucks are out driving around during the day.
Yep.
It's at night that we have trouble, so there isn't enough parking for them.
Right. I can see that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chin?
Is this going to be big enough for all of your trucks, or will you still have trucks on the street?
So this will be big enough.
It'll be big enough?
You gotta speak up.
Yes, it will be big enough.
Thank you. No other questions right now.
Okay. Mr. Himmel.
And what's on top of the fence again?
Barbed wire.
Barbed wire.
Oh.
We actually did it to match we did it to match the existing fence that we had already had for 10 years, but not realizing it was wrong until this went up.
So it'll be designer wire, right? Thanks.
That's what it is. Okay. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor? First call? Second call? Anyone? Next page? Oh, I don't know. Good. Third call? All that part of the hearing? Yeah, I'll call it part of that. All that closed. I have a letter here from the DPW, August 3rd, 2021, 2931 Nightingale, case number ZBA 2151. We reviewed the above referenced project and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call? Second call? Third call? Anyone? All that part of the hearing closed. I understand what you want to do, Renee, and you did a really nice job, I think, on the grass there, the way you put the inlay beside those 2 strips that you're going to have parking there for that lot. And I hope I'll be voting in favor to pave your lot so you can get all those trucks off the street down there. That'd be very nice. Thank you. Mr. Surveyors, any comments?
I have no comments except to say I'm in favor.
Okay, Mr. O'Brien,
Likewise.
Mr. Chin,
I'll be in favor.
and Mr. Himmel.
In favor, just glad they're getting the trucks off the street.
There you go. Could I have a motion, please, Mr. Surveyors?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, matter number 21-51, Renee Tuffy for a variance to pave a portion of the front yard and use a portion of the lot for 15 Nightingale parking and relief for fence height on the premises number 29-31 Nightingale Avenue. I make a motion to grant the variance.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can I have a voice vote, please?
Yes, Michael Cavea,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes, Charlie O'Brien.
Russell Chin,
Yes.
John Himmel,
Yes.
and Marty Akers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further on tonight's agenda, ZBA 2146, 0 Gertrude Ave, Lane Goldberg for variance to construct a single-family home in the vacant lot on the premises number 0 Gertrude Ave. The applicant and representative here.
Yes. You guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. Thank you. So my name is Lane Goldberg. I'm an attorney.
Yep.
And I hope that I have Chi Man on here with me.
I think he do now. Let's see if he's here. Chi, can you hear us?
Yeah, it's working now.
All right. And then the applicant, David Callaghan, he's also on Zoom as well. So I'm here before you on behalf of my client, seeking a variance in order to construct a single family home. This is in the residential A district. The variance that he is seeking is from the minimum front yard setback. So the requirement is 25 feet under the bylaw, and we're seeking an allowance of an 11-foot setback. So why a variance? As you can tell from the application, the property slopes from the front, from the street, Gertrude Ave, and eventually the rear of the property abuts a salt marsh. The applicant went through the Conservation Commission in, I believe, May of this year, and then an order of conditions issued. The main concern, from the Conservation Commission approval is really the stabilization of the existing that steep slope, and that's why the main building foundation in the building has to stay further away from the top of the slope. So because of all of this, the applicant is extremely limited in where this single family home can be located on this property. So the home is placed as far to the rear of the property that it can go, and then that leaves 11 feet for the front. So this already makes it it's a narrow home, and it's further narrowing it to meet the 25 feet setback in the front. That would render it pretty much a hallway. So it's, like I said, it's a severe limitation. So I want to go through kind of the provisions of 40A section 10 in order to grant the variance. So first, looking at the soil and topography here, as I said, the site, it borders the wetlands. So any construction further to the rear of the property is not permitted. And that's, per the Conservation Commission. So the soil and topography conditions on the land negatively impacts typical development of the site for use as a matter of right. I also want to point out under this sort of provision as well is when I speak about hardship, I'll talk about this as well, but also these conditions, the soil and topography conditions, they generally don't affect the rest of the entire zoning district. Some of the neighborhood has this issue, but the zoning district is it's residence A.
Right.
So it's the zoning district to look at, not just the neighborhood when looking at soils and topography. So, moving on to the next sort of element here, hardship. The hardship results from these conditions that I just talked about on the land. Mm-hmm. The economic use of the land here, it's constrained by this unique soil condition and topography on the land. So I want to expand just a little bit on this hardship provision that's required. So here, the property owner is requesting a dimensional variance as opposed to a use variance. While the wetlands affect properties in the area, as I stated, the Residence A district, it's one of the largest, if not the largest zoning district in Quincy. I'm sorry?
No, I'm saying, you know what? The other houses are 7 feet. So what would it look like even if you had the land? It would look weird.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said it would look weird if it was back 25 feet. Number one house is
Yeah.
7 feet, the other house down the end is like 2 feet.
Exactly. So yeah, they're in line, and that's
Like the
per
neighbor
code
Where
too.
you're trying to put it, where you're trying to makes it look right. Right.
Yeah, in the footnote to the code on the dimensional variances, it states that it should be in line with other houses on the street.
Right.
So, you know, the topography and soil conditions, just going back to the hardship here, on this lot, it creates a greater challenge for the construction in comparison to other lots. Other parcels, they can build a single family home. On this property, the applicant here cannot build one in conformance with the bylaw, given the constraints of the wetlands that are in the back. So in essence, the hardship, it's not just an economic benefit, it's looking at using the actual property to build a suitable living space. The applicant here just doesn't have the property rights enjoyed by other properties in this district. And just, on this hardship issue too, because I know that I'm hammering this point, but I want to get this in front of the board. Hardship is really not being reasonably able to use property in the manner that's allowed by the zoning requirements due to the circumstances, particularly affecting that particular property. So here, the reasonableness is directly correlated to the rear setback that's affected because of that soil and topography. So it has kind of that trickle down effect. So the applicant can't expand in the back. There's 33 feet that are left from the back of the proposed house to go up to the street. And that's a small window to work with. So what you're looking at, because of those issues, is a vacant plot of land. So I want to move on to the last sort of element that's required here, that the zoning relief requested does not constitute a substantial detriment to the public good or lead to a substantial derogation from the intent and purpose of the bylaw. Building a single family home here will not change the nature or character of that neighborhood. There are many similar residential properties within the neighborhood. And as you can see from the exhibit, showing properties, the living areas that I had uploaded a couple of weeks ago, the scale of this house is basically on par with the other homes in the surrounding area. And also the remaining setbacks all around the house will be well within the required feet in this zoning district, including the height. So I know that there's, there's opposition here today. It's just not warranted. And I do want to mention that I reached out to City Councilor McCarthy on June 9th regarding this. I didn't hear any objections from him. And it's not going to, in terms of the, that last element here, it's not going to produce more traffic, more noise. The applicant isn't asking to build above the required 2.5-story requirement or outside of the other setbacks. The opposition here is asking the applicant to build a smaller structure in conformity with the bylaw, but it's impossible. It will be less than a 10-foot wide home, and it just isn't feasible. So I appreciate your consideration. And if you have any questions, again, I can answer those, or Mr. Mann is on Zoom finally with us.
And again, if the board like to see the plan and go for the design, I'm ready to share the screen with you.
Sure, if you could.
I need permissions.
Are you on there?
Doing that now.
Are you on there as Chi?
Chi Man, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see you. Hold on a second.
It's got to get on.
Shrink that for a minute or move it over, Jay, because it does the same. Oh no, he's on his cheek. Right there. No, we're making cover.
No, still waiting for permissions.
Hold on 1 minute. You have an apprentice. Yeah.
Okay, Chi.
Okay.
Hey, I'd still be the applicant if you did me. You're up.
Yeah, 1 second.
All right, come on, waiting on you now. Someone upstairs. What do you mean there is no upstairs? There is tonight. This place is haunted.
Oh, sorry for a second.
I don't want to read your email from the IRS.
I do.
I do.
I'm getting the right screen. Sorry about that. So again, with the we have the zoning table in front of us. We want to iterate that we meet every single zoning audience except for the front yard setback. This is-
Is that what you wanted? You're going to put the plans up?
This is the screen.
No, I don't have it.
Yeah, I don't see it.
No, we don't see it.
Files.
I don't want your
I
file.
Let me try again. I have it on my screen. Let me try again.
Your document page. That's why I said I didn't want to read the IRS letters.
Oh, here you go.
There you go.
We have all kind of technical difficulties today.
You need a 14-year-old to help you.
10 now.
So again, now this is Gertrude Ave, come off on Palmer Street. This is the vacant lots that been vacant for quite a while. As you can see, we try to design the building due diligently to make it fit the very tight building area that we can build on. Although you can see the lot size is quite large. Beyond the dash line here, that is a steep slope, and down to the bottom is the title flat. So we've gone through the conservation commissions. They are very concerned about the slope stabilizations. And we have hired a geologist to investigate the site, and they gave us a report letter and saying that, basically tell us that the type of construction will not affect the slope here. And I can even show you that we have a building sections on the screen here. You can actually see our building foundations on the rear side is actually set back 2 feet from the face of the building, just to make the excavation of the foundations to be staying away from the slope. That's the very concern from the conservation commissions. So the slope and the wetland is really the sticking point that we are restricted to the footprint we have of the building. And that's why we are asking for the front yard setback. And also I can show you an exhibit I put together. Our site is right here. If you look at the FAR, we only have 0.9 FAR land area compared to the living area. And you can look at the surrounding buildings. They are all in the teens. 0.18, right across the street is 0.4. It's much bigger building, living area 2,500 square foot, versus our building is only about 2,000 square feet living area. With that, we also did a few, these are some of the pictures of the site, looking into our site towards the wetlands. This is the house, existing house on the, if we are looking from the street into the site, this is the house on the right-hand side. This is the house across the street. This is the house right across the street. And over here, what we did is a 3D renderings with the existing condition in the background and show how our proposed building is going to fit into the lot. Right in the front here is the proposed driveway. And then the 2.5 story on the main house side with rooftop deck on top of the garage. And looking at the different view. And looking from the back, on the wetland side. It's bird eye view. So, and then this is the letter that we got from the geologist certifying our constructions and the building placement is will not affect the slope. And that's kind of like a nutshell of what we are proposing. And I can go up to the building plan to show you how the building looks like. So for elevation, this is the front of the building. Single entrance with the two-car garage on the side and a rooftop deck walking out from the second floor. And first floor, living room, kitchen, a small basement for storage, and two bedrooms on the second floor, and the top floor is the master bedroom with the rooftop deck, walkout deck.
And Chi, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think those drawings that if you go up, I might have looked wrong, but we had amended the dormer. We had filed amended.
Oh, that's right.
Because that's a full dormer. You got a full dormer. You're making that a whole third floor.
So we had amended the drawings to conform with the bylaw.
All right. Can I see?
So he's showing the old one.
Well,
this is the old one. This is the original submittal. Sorry, apologize for that. And Mr. Anderson, we remind us with the full dormer, there will be 3 stories. So we revised the drawing. The record drawing submitted to the board show 2 small dormer.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's the 2 front dormer.
Where is the drawing?
So those were uploaded to the site. I can share those if you want to.
Yeah, please.
Get me access.
Okay. I'm going to get out.
All right. They're not even in our file, so I don't know if anyone downloaded them, but it should be in our file.
Yeah, they were uploaded, I think on the 14th, somewhere around there.
There's no copies. There's no copies to the clerk.
Okay. That's probably the issue.
No, but
I
and
apologize.
you didn't have to be chasing uploaded stuff. Someone should have made a phone call and called her and said, we got a different set of plans. You hear, wait. No, I know, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's late, and we have a long night, and we got wrong drawings, and we're going to start looking for stuff. Damn. No,
So if
it's
you
not. You shouldn't have had to do that, Madam Clerk. Someone should have
grant me
called
access.
to you. Well, you know what? I ain't looking at a drawing right now, so I'm not. I don't know how the rest of the board feels. That should have been in our packet when we met today. So I'm going to look at another drawing. We should have it. We should be looking at this and looking at our brain. When I first saw this, I said it's a 3-story building. Why is he building a 3-story building here? Not being fresh, but everything around there is a 2.5-story building. And you're asking for variance, but you send us a drawing with 3. I don't think it's fair. And I don't know how the board feels. Does the board want to look at the 3rd floor with the new set of drawings, or do you want a new set of plans? Mr. Cabeas?
I'll look at the drawings, Marty. It's okay with me.
All right. Mr. O'Brien?
Yeah, I'll look at the drawings.
All right. Mr. Chin?
Yeah, likewise. I'll see the drawing.
Mr. Himmel?
Sure, put them up.
All right, put them up. Let him give him access. Hold on. Wow. Frustrating. Take 2 minutes, guys. We gotta go find these, and he's gonna go look for them. Just 2 minutes, all right? Mr. Duca got a little hairdo change.
Nicer glasses, too.
Glasses, there you go. All right, you're up, Mr. Goldberg.
All right. Now I can do it. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. So that was the amendment. The dormers were changed on that top story.
And how wide are they?
How wide?
Yeah, how wide are the dormers?
I believe they're 6 feet each.
So I can scroll.
No, he's the architect.
Yeah.
6 feet, 6 feet. All right. 232, 64, 6 inches, 54, 6, yeah, that's right, 6 feet. All right, you got two dormers. Okay. Everyone see that, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
All right. Do you want me to stop sharing this?
Unless you need something else. You need anything else from Scola?
No, I'm all set. Unless,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, yeah, stop sharing. That'd be great. We can go back.
Okay.
Thanks.
What's the impact on the back?
What's that?
The impact on the back.
It's just that it's a walkout deck,
Okay.
like a flat deck.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. So it'd be like whatever you go up 2 foot and need 3 foot, and then you have a flat deck. Is there any, I don't have any questions. I looked at this property and looked at it. I don't want to hear from the neighbors, and they're probably not going to be happy because you had a view there for a long time, but you know, someone didn't buy that view, so people have a right to build what they wanted to and what you did. But even that frontage is in line. What it is, it's in line with the neighborhood, and maybe even a little more. That probably could have been 8 feet back, but with that being back 10 feet, like that, 11 feet, even gives you more room to the garage too. And it is back so away from the neighbor. And then you get your distance from your neighbors. So I think for what piece of land you had there, you put a great proposal together for that piece of land. I don't know if there's any questions, Mr. Cabeas, you have at this time.
No, I don't.
No, Mr. O'Brien?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Chin?
I have one question for the architect, and that is regarding the windows on the front elevation. Why the windows appear to be different on the left side of the house as opposed to the right?
Yeah, it's a double one. Could you stand?
Well, I'm not sure if the architect is on. I don't know if you can handle that question.
Can you hear me?
I believe that's because that's the stair going up from the first floor to second floor.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, if you want one matched there, they can put it in. A fake window will look just like the other one if that's what you're looking at. You know? They can make
it looks a little bit disparate to me because it's all the way up one half of the house. And on the left side, it's one kind of window. And then the right side of the house, it's totally another kind of window.
Right.
It just looks a little odd to me.
Right. It's the staircase that's going up. But, I mean, they can put windows in there to match and make them.
Because from the outside, nobody knows it's a staircase on the inside. For all intents and purposes, from the outside, it's the same as on the left as the right on the inside.
Right. You're right. And it does look, I didn't even look at the drawing until just now because of the new things on that but you're right. I see what you're saying. I mean, they could put double window, but these are longer around. They're not really.
I'm pretty sure the owner has no opposition of putting the window that match on both sides as the conditions.
I think it would be more aesthetically pleasing to me, but maybe not to everyone else.
No, I think you're right. I like that whole idea of that to make it. Yeah. Good feng shui. There you go.
Of course.
Make it all look the same.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. That was Mr. Duca's comment, trying to be a little.
I see. Well, he's the commissioner. He knows.
Yeah, he's a commissioner. A little feng shui in that. Okay, Mr. Himmel.
Yeah, I think Russell's right. It looks conventional on the left side, modern on the right side. So be nice if those windows match.
He can do that. Of course he can. All right, let's see what the neighbors have to say and the people in the neighborhood. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? Jed Lucio.
Wow.
Jed? You're right.
I did raise my hand, Mr. Chair, and I do represent neighbors in opposition to this. So if you wanted to take another roll call for those in favor, I'll stand by.
Can I ask you, are you an attorney? I can't hear you.
No, he muted him. So
No.
My question was, are you an attorney? If not, I have to swear you in.
I am an attorney.
Thank you.
Okay. Hold on, Jed. We'll get to you sometime during this. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? First call. Second call. Third call closed. I have a letter here from the DPW. Why, someone there? Did I miss someone?
No, I was like, I don't have comments from DPW. I was shocked.
August 3rd, 2021, 0 Gertrude Ave, case number ZBA 2146. We reviewed the above referenced project and have no comments. Now, anyone opposed or undecided? Jed, you're up. Can you unmute him, please? You all set, Jed? No. There you go. 1 sec. Coming at you. Go ahead, hit that. There you go. Takes that long, huh?
Great. Thank you very much. I will be brief. I am from the law firm of Mirioni, Shaw, St. Udi. We submitted a correspondence dated August 6, 2021 on behalf of our clients.
Yep.
I believe that's in the record.
Yeah.
Great. Christine Marie Fell is one of our clients, along with Robin and Christopher Anderson, and I think I see them on this call as well. And so after I make some brief opening remarks, I'd like to turn it over to them to give a little more flavor on our position. I won't go through point for point on what's in our letter. I will say, just to highlight, I think what the key issues are, that we disagree that the wetlands constitute soil conditions, as that term is used in the statute. Mm-hmm. Also disagree that wetlands, which is the real driver on this, are sufficiently unique to this property. But even though, even were the board to side with the applicant on those issues, we think hardship really hasn't been demonstrated. We understand that hardship is measured by reasonable use of the property, but that doesn't mean they get to build the exact home that they want to build. And there does not appear to have been an effort here to build within without encroaching or limit encroachment. One issue I'll point out is that the deck could be partly responsible for the encroachment that currently exists in the current design. Additionally, I would also note that we have, in addition to our clients, there are 7 other neighbors who our clients have been told oppose this particular design. I could wait until after the others in opposition speak to see if any are missed, and I could read those into the record if there's no objection.
No, you can give me all the names you want. Read them right now.
Okay, let's do that. So, Elena and Anthony Buccini, 7 Chelsea Road.
Yeah.
Bill Meacham and Patrice Torrado, 6 Chelsea Road.
Okay.
Teresa and Chow Nugent, 13 Chelsea Road.
Okay.
Cheryl and Greg Holleran, 17 Forbush Road. 3 more. Deirdre Berry, 155 Palmer Street. Michael Sanchez, 157 Palmer Street.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, Clarissa Ronzio and Andrew Gringham of 143 Palmer Street.
Are they in his submission?
Yes. Yeah, those are the people there.
And so I would like to cut off my remarks at this point and turn things over to Chris Fell if she's available.
All right. We'll get to the clients and we'll speak here, but I'll take care of that. You're all set. Thank you. Is there anyone that's opposed or undecided? Raise your hand. Give us a little Click. Star 9. There's got to be people here that, I mean, they're here and they're on. Second call. Is there anyone here that wants to speak? Opposed?
Right here.
Right here.
Undecided. Name?
All right. Good. John Walsh, 15 Gertrude Ave.
John? All right, I got a letter here, so I'm not going to read it into the record since you're speaking, okay?
Okay.
And if you could, Mr. Cabeas, please swear them in.
Yeah, sure. Thank you,
Swear
Mr.
to tell the
Chairman.
truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do.
All right, go to the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the time to speak. I own the property at 15 Gertrude Ave.
Okay.
My view is not going to be impacted, but I think my property will. I think the sheer scope of the property, the size, potential runoff, they're going to be trimming the trees to build this property. So I just think it's going to have a negative impact on my property, and I just want to voice my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I just think the lot is too small for what they're trying to propose. Something smaller, a little more modest, maybe, but they're putting up a McMansion.
No, it really is 23 feet wide. I mean, this house is very small, very, very.
But it's 3 stories high.
No, it's not. It's 2.5 with 2 dormers. It's not 3 stories. I don't know who said it's 3 stories.
Well, what's the elevation off the ground from the front stairs?
It's less than the requirement that he can go to 35. So.
Okay.
But I mean, really, when I first looked at the lot, and then I started looking at the plans, it's got a 23-foot wide house. I thought it was a little different than when I first thought. I'm looking at this 3-story thing. I was like, there's no way. You can't put 3 stories on this lot. It's just
But what about the potential drainage issues?
On the hill.
Runoff is going, anything that's been there, I mean, is going to run off, it's going to run off. It's going back into the marsh. Everything's going back into the marsh there.
Well, but my property's downhill. It's going to run there first because of the foundation, which used to absorb it, that whole area, the grassy area.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your comments.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr.
You're
Chairman.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Anything further? Anyone else? Anyone else want to speak?
Christine Fell.
Christine Fell, you're up. Want to take an oath, Christine?
Yes, please.
1 second. Hold on, Christine. All right, you're good. You're up.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Not to be contrary, but that's not something I swear on.
It's okay.
Do you have an alternate?
Do you just tell us you'll tell the truth?
I will tell the truth, sir.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you. As far as the setback goes, I am across the street at 10 Gertrude Ave. I have 100 feet of setback, so I'm not sure exactly what formula you're using to compare it to other houses.
Address, please. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm at 10 Gertrude Ave.
10. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And my house is 650 square feet. So you showed pictures of some other ones that are a little bit bigger. The other houses that you're comparing to were presumably conforming. There's been an issue where 11 and 15 Gertrude Ave were at one point coupled so that 15 could be built. And it's questionable whether they were ever actually uncoupled. So 11 was what provided 15 with the square footage to be built. I've got documents and stuff that go back to the 80s. So anyway, if those were indeed uncoupled, it made 2 non-conforming lots. So I don't know why we would grant this extra favors. Hang on 1 sec, sorry. As far as hardship goes, the owner was Aidan Feeney, and now it's West Boylston Investments. Mr. Feeney paid $1,000 for the lot, and West Boylston just paid $10, I think it was, for it in March. I don't know the exact economics of the whole thing, but if one of the arguments
Ma'am, please. We can't get into finances and what he paid, what he did.
I'm just saying that one of the arguments seems to be...
It's getting late and we've had a long day, so please stick to the facts. That's all I want. Facts.
Parking and density is an issue in our neighborhood, and I oppose the building on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
Mr. Chair, just to make one final remark, if I could.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Sure. Just to sum up one of the points that my client made, and also to note that the Andersons, our other client, are at 8 Gertrude and 4 Gertrude Avenue. It's our position that the other encroachments in the setback in with regard to other homes in the neighborhood are legally existing nonconformities, and so those shouldn't be taken into consideration. Thank you.
They're legally non-conforming, like probably 3/4 of the city in Germantown and everywhere. They're all built like that until they changed zoning. We never had zoning until '70s, right?
Understood, and we're just saying that this house should be evaluated under the current code.
And you do evaluate. What you say is you make it conforming to the properties that are there. That's what you try to do when you put a house on an empty lot. You try to make it fit into the neighborhood, so you don't go back 50 feet when they're all 2 feet off the property line. It would look weird. That's what I think the guy was trying to say to you, like when he said that. He was trying to make it look conforming to the other 2 homes. That's all I'm saying. And personally, I think he did a great job. And matter of fact, he probably went back a little too far. He probably should have came up a couple more feet and made them just like the others. So when you come down the street, it's a line. But that's just my opinion. Okay, thank you. Could you please make sure whoever's not speaking isn't on, because I keep hearing different things in the background. So,
hello.
Just like that. Yes, who's this?
Yes, I'm sorry. Hi, this is Robin Anderson. My apologies for just barging in.
Oh, wait a minute. We'll let you speak in 1 second. Where is Jay? Can you find her?
Right at the bottom
Yep. Right there you go. All right, you're up. Could you take an oath, please?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to the board for listening to us. I'm just curious as to, I thought tonight's meeting was about the variance as far as the setback. And that was, I understood the zoning to be 25 feet from the setback, but yet the plans indicate that he's looking for a 14-foot variance because the home he's looking to.
Correct. And that's what you do. You come in front of the zoning board.
I feel like we haven't really addressed that, sir, and I'm just not sure.
That was the first thing that was addressed by the attorney. And the last thing that he just said was addressed from the attorney. So we've heard it from 3 or 4 different people already about the front setback. And that's the only thing really that this property is looking for, is a front setback. So that's what we're here for really tonight, correct?
Yes, that is correct, but I just didn't feel like the answer was given. That's all. So just my interpretation.
No, I'm just saying, we've all talked about that. That's what we're talking about, the front setback.
The other house, there's only one other house on the street for setback.
And there's another house right behind it. So please shut everyone off so we have one person talking at a time and we can't be butting in. I can't wait to get back to live. The Zoom stuff gets crazy. You can't even hear yourself think sometimes. Yeah. There's people over here. I'm trying to run a meeting. It's just like crazy. Last call. If anyone want to speak, close them undecided. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been back and forth when they, on this since the day I went down and met with a few residents on a Saturday in an afternoon, kind of unofficial. I was very surprised, when you see the square footage, and you go down and look, it's a very small section that they can build in. I think a few folks on the board have said that he's done a nice job putting a small house on that postage stamp, but I can't really go along with the whole thing because I hear from the neighbors talking about the wetlands conditions, talking about the negative impact with the trees. It's so small. I know that I think it was Mr. Walsh who said it'd be nice to make it a smaller house, but it's small now, and it still might have issues in regards to the marshland and those conditions as they get going. So I'm not going to support it. I think they did a great job trying to put something on a beautiful spot, but I just don't think it's going to work. That's just my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you, Council, and thanks for hanging in tonight. I know you've had a long week, and you've been spending a few hours the other day with going through the properties. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Last call. Call that part of the hearing closed.
Hello.
You know, it's like when I first get, what's going on?
Nothing, I was asking you.
Oh. You know, is it a small house? It is a small house. And the neighbors want something small. But I don't even think it's something smaller there. But I don't know. What could he bring? What could he bring the house? 20 feet? You could 3 feet and go back 17 feet. Look weird to me. I think it should be in line because the house right behind it, once that tree goes, and I don't know why those two big blocks are there. I think the fire department would have wanted them out there so they could get through if they ever had to come around that way. But I don't know why those were there, but they are there. And if you look at the other house down from that street, it's like 2 feet off the property as you continue on that street. And what that guy said, he's right. There's only one house on that side until you hit the blocks. But the street does continue straight down, and there's other homes there too. And there's one house set back about, I don't know, 70 feet right across from that. And to me, that house looks out of line for the street because all the other houses are up close. But compared to the house, I really believe that he could make that probably a 20-foot house and make it work. But the lawyer made a good. I think it was a lawyer that said it too. That deck in the back maybe is the cause of some of these problems. And he's got a roof deck on his garage. I mean, all the trees aren't going to be there because they're just not. They're all one inch overgrowth, really. There might be one tree there that's size. So it'll be wide open and have his roof deck over there. He wouldn't need another third floor deck over there. So, well, second floor deck, second floor deck, because you don't have a third. So maybe that could be talked about with the neighbors if it's feasible. But as far as the house, he could cut a couple feet off it. I don't see him bringing it. I just think the neighborhood don't want a house there because there's never been one there, and they've had that view and they've had that open space, and I don't blame them. People hate change. If someone does own the property, and they do have a right to put something on their property, and I wouldn't be opposed to putting a home on that property at all. There is enough room, and to make it fit with that community. So if the applicant maybe wanted to take a couple more feet, maybe I'd be completely in favor of that. But that's just me. Mr. Cabeas, any comments?
Yeah, I would like to see this come back. I agree with you about the back, the porch. Maybe that could be, maybe that could disappear.
Yeah.
I would have them come back with some other ideas, I think.
Some what?
Some different ideas. See if they can shrink it a little bit. I'm agreeable to a house there. I'm not so sure of agreeable to just this house and,
I don't either. I don't. Yeah, you don't.
So I would give them an opportunity to come back.
Work with the neighborhood and see if they can come up with a smaller house for that. Right. All right. Mr. O'Brien?
The way I look at it, the only thing they're asking for is a front variance to 11 feet. So are you going to move it closer to the street? I mean, I like where it's placed right now, and I like how it sits. And like you said, something's going to be built in there, and I think just the one request for the front variance is okay by me. And I mean that's a giant lot. When you look, even it's wet and not usable, it's still part of the lot.
Right.
So
it is, and I'm thinking 2 feet to bring it back away from the wetlands. You could leave it even there, but
yeah, but you're going to bring it forward closer to the street, which all of them are anyway.
And they are, and we could even do that, but the neighborhood, I don't think, wants that. So if they say, my only idea was they're worrying about the deck in the back, the wetlands, the falling down, and everything being in there. I get maybe they can lose that deck and come back with a different house.
Has the Conservation Commission already approved this?
Yes. Yes.
Water runoff.
Isn't it their job? Isn't it their job to worry about the wetlands?
Yes, it is. It is. But I'm saying for the neighborhood, trying to put everyone in maybe you can work with the neighborhood, maybe they can't. I don't know. And then we make a decision then when it comes to that. If we don't, no. And if he wants to see if he can work with the neighborhood. It seems like there could be something there. I think he could work with the neighborhood to make a house there and make everybody pretty much happier than what it is there. They don't like that house. So I'm just thinking maybe they work with the neighborhood, try to get something. If they can't, they can't. Then we make a decision on what it is. Either yay or nay then. But let's give them a chance maybe to get the neighbors on our side. Maybe the neighbors can get something out of this too. That's all I'm thinking. Mr. Chin?
I agree with Charlie. The elevation, there was a gentleman asking about the elevation. He thought it was way over.
Yeah.
Front elevation is only 29.
Yep.
The rear elevation is only 13. He's asking for a small variance on the front.
Yep.
We have plenty of precedent for giving even smaller frontage
right.
in other situations.
Right. Make it look like the neighborhood. You're exactly right.
I think that the proposal is fine as it is. And if this is a very large lot. So if you want them to go back and talk to the neighbors, I don't think that these neighbors want to see a house there. So you're going to give them 2 extra feet on the front, 3 extra feet on the front. I don't think that's going to make the difference in any discussion from what I'm hearing tonight.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You hit record.
Probably right. Mr. Discussion's all over, gentlemen, ladies.
Okay. Sorry.
No more discussion tonight. The board's talking. Mr. Himmel.
All right.
The way I look at it, conservation spent a substantial amount of time placing this house where it was.
Yep.
You looked at that design and the engineering where the load lines were, they were trying to keep it away from that slope, which they apparently had some great concern about.
Right.
So if you really can't move it back because the load lines are going to negatively affect that slope. You bring it forward, your neighbors get even crazier. If it was my neighborhood and I had a big 22,000 square feet that was open land that my kids played in, I'd hate to see it built too. But I mean, I guess the option is people could buy it or they don't buy it. And you're right, Mr. Chin. We've made far bigger variances than this. It's not a huge stretch, but if you want to kick it back and see if the neighbors and the owners can come to some accommodation, I don't have a problem with it. But
that's all I'm. Let's see where they can go. Maybe they can't go and they come back with this proposal, then we have to vote on it. But if it's not, maybe a couple feet here, a couple feet there, or move something. Maybe they can come up with something better for them. That's all I'm thinking. I mean, we're going to vote on it either way.
I mean, conservation, if they were really, really concerned about the water, the slope, and other items, they could have declared this lot sterile, and they didn't do it.
Right, of course, because it's a good lot. Right, I know what you're saying.
Can I speak?
Exactly what you're saying. No.
Okay.
No offense, but that time's over. It's just, and I know I'd like to let everyone speak at the apple, but we'll be here all night when we're making a decision now. So guys, here's what I'd like. Just 2 weeks, give them 2 weeks to get together and then come back. Not a long time. Yeah. You guys agree with that? Just 2 weeks and then we'll vote on it either way, whatever they come back with?
I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Everybody? All right, Mr. Goldberg, you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
All right. Can I have a motion to move this to the 24th, August 24th, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Where am I now? I am Gertrude, that's right. Madam 21-46, Lane Goldberg for a variance to construct a single-family house on a vacant lot on the premises number 0 Gertrude Avenue. Make a motion to extend the meeting to our next meeting, which is August 24th.
Second.
Since we had this, Madam Clerk, can we have a voice vote?
Yes. Mike Cabeas,
Yes.
Kelly O'Brien,
Oh, yeah.
Michael Chin,
Yes.
John Himmel,
Yes.
Martin Egan.
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Goldberg, if you could get down and sit with the lawyer there and maybe some of the neighbors, try to put a date together, that'd be great.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Further on tonight's business, ZBA 2156. Attorney Patrick Foley for variance special permit finding to demolish the existing industrial building, construct a 50-unit residential building on premise 17 Bennett Lane. Is the applicant and their representative here?
To the board. My name is Patrick Foley, and I represent Bennett Lane Associates LLC and its principals Tom Fitzgerald and Sean Whelan. I'm joined here tonight by Ilda Alba from Truman Associates. Our civil engineers for the project are going to be Hardy and Mann, and we're going to use MK&A Landscaping to do our landscaping design.
Okay.
This proposal is located at 17 Bennett Lane, which is located in the Industrial A zoning district of the city. The project will be 28,483 square feet and stand 5 stories tall. There will be 52 bedroom and 2 bathroom condo units. This will be replacing the current electrical company and manufacturing plant that currently resides right there. I just want to correct, the applicant will actually be keeping the footing of the building and the foundation and not totally demolishing it. This proposal will significantly increase the tax revenue brought in at this property. This proposal will have 52 parking spots and will include bike racks. This proposal is 300 yards away from the Quincy Adams train station. The applicant has built condos on this street in the adjacent Oak Grove Terrace. Through their history of selling units here, they have seen that most people who have bought here have one or no car. The reason they buy these units was because of the close proximity that it is to the train station. We also believe that this proposal will actually reduce the numbers of cars that come down the street on a given day. The current warehouse and manufacturing plant has a constant, consistent flow of traffic that flows up and down the street all day. Back in June, we had a neighborhood meeting, which was hosted by Councilor Palmucci. At this meeting, there was no opposition, and we received only positive feedback. I'll now turn it over to Ilda Alba, who will give more details about the project. Could we please share the screen?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
You're welcome, Ms. Foley.
What's his name?
Foley?
No. What's the? Will you share your screen with?
Oh, it's David Freed.
Freed.
Yeah.
Hey, he's getting work. You're up.
Okay. This proposed project consists of 5 floors of residential units and parking in the basement.
Hold up. We don't have it yet. It's not on our screen. Hold up. We got like a time delay coming on here.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but it's in this tonight. Get it up? It's up to you. Click it up. Can you reboot it again? Might be up in your screen. It's not coming up on ours.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. There we go. Can you see it?
It's coming. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this proposed project consists of 5 floors of residential units and parking in the basement and also outside parking. There are 10 units per floor. The existing building footprint and structural will remain, and there will be an addition over it also at the right side of the existing building and also the rear of the property. There will be 50 units, all 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. There are 52 parking spaces. 13 of the spaces are inside the garage. I'm gonna scroll down. So here we are. This is the garage, which is the existing basement for the building, and that's the right side of the property where we're gonna have surface parking spaces. So 13 spaces are inside the garage in the basement, 26 spaces outdoor to the right of the basement, and 11 spaces are at the front, which are currently there and have the existing building have used these spots for a number of years. The right side surface parking spaces are not going to be visible from the street, from Independence Ave and Oak Grove. Given the topography of the site slopes down towards the north side of the property. And let me just paint. So this is Oak Grove coming down and Independence Ave is up here. So Oak Grove slopes down towards the north side of the property, so you won't be able to see this surface parking on this area over here. Also, the back of the property abuts the MBTA train tracks, so there's no other buildings with direct view from the back of the property. The units vary from 1,264 square feet to 1,637 square feet. Most of the units have balconies.
Again, I missed that. How many square feet? From what to what?
Units vary from 1,264 square feet to 1,637 square feet.
1637, okay, thanks.
Between those 2 numbers. Most of the units have balconies, and some of them have Juliet-style balconies to give the building a more residential look. The materials used on the building, on the exterior of the building, are fiber cement panels and siding, and also brick on the first floor to keep consistent with the existing building. Thank you. Any questions? We'll be happy to answer. So this is some views of the building. This is the front.
No, go ahead.
That's the back of the building.
There's the floor, keep going. Hello?
Any questions? We'll be happy to.
I have one question.
The outside, the design, what's it made out of?
The exterior is going to be fiber cement boards and siding, and also the first floor is going to be brick.
All right. Any questions from the board, Mr. Cabeas?
I have just one question. Why do all these buildings all look the same to me? I'm sitting in my office here at Marina Bay, and it looks like just like the building outside my window. I don't get it, but that's. The only question is why.
That's like more residential, but also
industrial. I mean, did you actually draw up a different plan, or was this like the plan you used last time and the time before that? That's all. I'm sorry. I have no other questions or comments.
You're right, even down the street like the other one looks sort of the same. And Mr. Cabeas, sorry, he's all set. Mr. O'Brien.
Yes, the question I have is as I look at the property, the orientation to the right, there's a driveway there. Does that lead to a garage?
Yes. Correct.
And who is the access easement? Who's the beneficiary of the access easement?
We own that. Yeah,
Overall?
the property owner. Yes. The property owner.
Your property owner is the beneficiary of the right-of-way access easement in the front of the property?
Yes, Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you.
Mr. Chin, questions?
I reserve my questions.
Okay. And Mr. Himmel.
Why do you use the that cement paneling? It looks lousy.
Really? It's,
I know it's inexpensive. It's less money than brick, but it does not give a residential feel to it. It gives an industrial feel.
Well, all these buildings that are being built around Quincy and Boston these days use the fiber cement panels, so that's why. But we can change that if you.
Do you guys mind if I chime in?
And I'll save my questions regarding that nobody needs more than one car or nobody needs one car on the less than adequate parking proposal.
Okay. Now we're on to, I got a few questions. I just want to hold on to the end. I got to look something up first. There's two things I want to look up. Is there anyone here right now that wants to speak in favor? Could you please take the screen down?
Yeah.
Thank you. No, can you X out of that? Mr. Duca?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ray.
Stop sharing.
Okay. Here we go. Is there anyone that'd like to speak in favor? First call? Second call? Anyone? Next screen? Anyone here?
I don't have anything.
Is there another screen?
Yeah, no, there's not.
They're all gone.
No, everybody's gone.
Third call. I'll let the hearing closed. And you have the letter from the DPW or?
I do.
I'll let the hearing closed. $10. I have a letter here from the DPW, August 3rd, 2021, 17 Bennett Lane, case number 2156. The submitted package does not have the civil site plan, grading, and utility. Therefore, we cannot provide any comments at this time to the zoning board. However, we will provide comments if the applicant submit their project to the planning board with comprehensive design plans and documents. In general, we do not have issues with the development if the applicant will provide mitigation measures on the existing infrastructures for the adverse impacts caused by the development. There you go, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Anyone opposed or undecided? First call. Second call.
Citizen.
No, he's been up all day. He's gone. No, he's been gone. All right. All right, go ahead. See if he's there.
New here.
All right, see if he's there.
I did. I just made it back. Thank you.
Oh, Citizen Raffelli, go ahead. You're up.
I was able to go to Rhode Island, go food shopping, and the meeting's still going on.
There you go, bud.
All the way from Quincy.
But yeah, this is the only lot in this project. Is it 2,300 square feet? Am I correct on that number for the lot size?
23,000.
23,483.
23,000 square feet. And how many units?
50 units.
And it's industrial. Is that how it's zoned?
Yeah, industrial A.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is just a tough thing because we don't have any rules that says what you can and cannot do in industrial. So it's insane on how big we're building these buildings. I mean, how many floors of living area do we have in this building?
5 stories.
So there's a garage and then 4 levels of living or 5 levels of living?
Garage is in the basement.
And then there's 4 levels above it?
There's 5 above it.
Didn't you see the plans?
Okay. I mean, do you know what's the closest elementary school to this building?
The closest elementary school, I believe, would be over that end of the city.
Lincoln Hancock.
Lincoln Hancock?
Yeah.
Lincoln Hancock? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, I think something could go there, but I mean, I think it should be less dense. I mean, this is crazy dense, but there are no rules in industrial A. So when there are no rules, you can kind of do whatever you want. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Is there anyone else? Opposed or undecided? Second call? Third call? All that part of the hearing closed. You know, like you said, the train station's right there. It's going to be, people need these units to really, to grab the train and shoot into Boston, and they can make all that money and not live and pay the rent in the city of Boston, but they can pay it in Quincy. So, and I know you were talking about the design and stuff, Mr. Himmel, but a lot of them really, that's the way they look. But at least Hardy plank, it's a cement board and it's pretty durable, but it's got the residential look, I think. Gives it that 4-inch flap and kind of looks good. So personally, I'd be voting in favor. I like the brick in the bottom too. But you're right, they do all look alike. Like you get on right behind the Stop and Shop, there's one, the other one is another one, I know. Mr. Cabeas.
I will be voting in favor, but I tell you, 20 years from now, they're all going to say, what were these people thinking? All these buildings look alike.
You're right. You're right. Mr. O'Brien.
It might not take 20 years, Mike. We're asking now.
That's true. That's true.
Mr. King?
I don't see that area other than residential being able to be up there. The T gives it an advantage. The other, I don't know what the results of the buildings that are there that we approved in recent number of years. Mm-hmm. I was up there today. I don't see major traffic issues. No. Again, over the commuting hours, maybe it's a little different, but I'll be voting in favor.
Mr. Chin?
Yeah, I've had some time to think about the design, and I do want to agree with Mike. You know, I have the utmost respect for Arthur True and True and Associates. They usually do spectacular work. But in this situation, and maybe it's the black and white picture that I have in front of me, this is an uninspired design. It's a swing and a miss, okay? In my opinion, the facade of this building looks terrible. I don't know whether it's because of the framing of the windows and why there's so many of them. It just looks tacky for some reason. I do understand the need for the housing. I understand the desire to have housing near public transportation. I get all that. I just wish it looked better.
Russ, I agree with you. I agree.
All right. All right. Mr. Himmel.
I think it's a poorly designed building. I don't like the look of it. I know it looks like a lot of buildings. That doesn't mean I have to like a lot of buildings. Right. And I take great umbrage with 50 units and 52 parking spaces. Not everybody works in Boston anymore. Less and less people work in Boston. And if young people are going to rent these, how many young people do you know that don't each have an automobile? I think it's insulting to the people of Quincy to put 52 units with 50 parking spaces there. I am not in favor of this.
Okay. Mr. Cabeas, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Amendment number 21-56. Attorney Patrick Foley for a use variance special permit finding to demolish the existing industrial building and construct a 50-unit residential building on the premises number 17 Bennett Lane, Quincy. I make a motion to grant the relief.
Second.
On the motion? Seeing none? Madam Clerk, can we have a voice vote?
You can. Martin Akins?
Yes.
Mike Cabeas?
Yes.
Charlie O'Brien?
Yes.
Russell Chin?
No.
John Himmel, excuse me.
No.
What do you think?
2 noes.
Okay, so it didn't pass. So the applicant, it didn't pass 3-2. I guess if you want to come back, you're gonna have to come back with a different set of plans, with something that makes them a little better than what they're looking at, I guess. I guess the board wants something different. Well, it's, what are they looking for? What are you guys looking for? Different outside? Jen?
I'm looking for, if they're going to have 50 parking, or one parking space per unit, I'm looking for fewer units, number one. Number two, if they have fewer units, I think they can do more with the design instead of cramming all those units in there into this half an acre space with parking up front. So I think it's to go back to the drawing board. I mean, if everyone else agrees that one space per unit is insufficient, then I think you're looking at a little bit of a reduction in density.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying an enormous amount of a reduction, but a reduction nevertheless, so that there's at least visitor parking, there's at least some overflow parking, there's space for landscaping. I don't think I saw a landscaping design. I might have missed it, but I don't believe I saw any kind of landscaping.
So that gets all done at the planning board. That gets all done, and they iron all that stuff out, how they want it to look and all that stuff for the land. But all right, I didn't know we were going to have two. I thought we had one that said no, and the other so I'd like to make a motion to reconsider and let the applicant go back out and come back with another set of plans.
That's fine with me.
For that?
Sure, as long as there's adequate parking.
All right, and yeah. Mr. Cabeas, are you all set with that? Mr. O'Brien?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Ms. Cabeas, can we have a motion to reconsider, and then we'll put this off for a month or 6 weeks and see if they come up with a better plan?
Mr. Chairman, in that fact, matter number 21-56, I make a motion to reconsider.
Second.
Madam Clerk, can we get a voice vote?
Ken? Marty Akins?
Yes.
Michael Vayas?
Yes.
Charlie O'Brien?
Yes.
Russell Chin?
Yes.
And John Himmel?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I guess to the applicant, I think you heard what the board said. They're looking for some changes.
Yes.
Make this thing work. And I guess, how about 6 weeks? Is that enough time? You need 2 months? 6 weeks good?
6 weeks is more than enough.
That's good, Mr. Chair. 6 weeks.
All right. Could I have a motion, Mr. Cabeas? That'd be
Do you want September 28th, October 12th?
September 28th. That's 6 weeks, right? That work for the applicant?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you got it. September 28th or 6th?
Thank you. September 28th.
28th, okay. Mr. Cabeas, can you make a motion 28th, please?
Matter number 21-56, Attorney Patrick Foley, 17 Bennett Lane, make a motion to continue the hearing to September 28th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Are they going to the planning board?
Yeah, they're gonna end up going to planning, but now they're gonna have to, it's gonna be a little change before they go there.
I mean, before they come back to us, they're going to go to the planning board.
The reason they came before this board first is because they needed a use variance.
Right, they need a use variance to go from commercial to residential, so that's why they came here first, and then they were gonna go to the planning board and get massaged or whatever they're gonna do over there. So, which we just didn't give them yet, but we're gonna talk about a different building or a different little style building, or something a little prettier, make everybody happy, and maybe a
Like
little,
me.
Whatever they got to do to make the board happy. They can be in touch with Mr. Duca. And if you got anything that you want, that you're looking for, just send the clerk a little note what you're looking for in this case that you'd like to see, and I'll do the same. We all give them a little guidance what to do. I think they got the rough idea, but if there's something you want special, let us know. That work?
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Have a great night, guys.
Thank you. All right, night, guys.
Thank you very much.
I need a motion, Mike.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I know it was a long night. Geez, almost 9 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
See you later.
Right.